Today from Kansas City, the Red Sox put the wraps on their final road trip before the All-Star break. The Sox can sweep for the second straight series after a season-high 15 runs last night. Hi, everybody. Beautiful day in Kansas City. Welcome aboard. I'm Dave O'Brien, my partner, Red Sox Hall of Famer Jerry Remy, of course, and Garen Austin coming along in just a couple of minutes. And, Jerry, last night the Red Sox had 10 different guys drive in a run, scoring 15 times. But at the very top of the order, it was set perfectly.
It absolutely was. You know, I remember one time when I was hitting leadoff or second, Ted Williams asked me, what's the most important thing you have to do? And I said, get on base. Well, was that a great example last night of the top two guys getting on base? Mookie Betts and Andrew Benintendi were absolutely outstanding. A couple of Mookie's base hits right here, ground ball, hard ground ball through the 5-6 hole, as you can see right there. Benintendi late in the game getting a high fastball and taking it out of the park. But look at the numbers on the graphic. They're absolutely stunning. Betts going 4 for 6, a couple of doubles, 2 RBIs. His last 8 games he's hitting .394. Benintendi 4 walks in the game, 2 for 2, plus with that home run that we showed you. And he's been fairly hot over his last 8 games. So, I mean, when you got two guys at the top of the lineup that have nights like that, you're going to score a bunch of runs.
And they certainly did. Those two guys on base combined 10 times in the Red Sox rout of the Kansas City Royals. Wasn't all great news last night coming out of an impressive victory. Joe Kelly among those. He wasn't feeling great at the end of the night. Lightheadedness, that was the diagnosis. A couple of other guys nicked up. More on that with Garen when we return. Toyota.com. Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. Lexus and Alexa Strikes Out Hunger Program. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Southwest Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees, that's transparency. And by KM, together we grill. And they're grilling here in Kansas City, out in the parking lot, as they tailgate prior to the Red Sox and the Royals. Red Sox going for the sweep. Not great news among some of the guys who played last night. And for more on the injury update, let's toss it down to Garen Austin.
Hi, OB. Well, last night when Alex Cora announced that Christian Vasquez was going to the DL with a fractured finger, he said it was a huge blow. Now, Vasquez will see a hand specialist in Boston tomorrow, and Cora said that they will go from there. And then we came in today, and J.D. Martinez is out of the lineup, and Brian Johnson is headed to the DL as well. Here's Cora with updates.
He struggled the last few days with his hip. I don't know if it was because he was running the bases that much that day, going station by station, but it doesn't make sense for us to pitch him tomorrow or Tuesday. We feel that he should be back sooner rather than later. So making these moves is the right thing to do. JD, a little bit banged up. Just staying away from him today. We got Steve, so we'll DH him. He'll be available, but after he fouled off those 2 and actually 3, it makes sense to stay away from him and give him one day, and he should be back in the starting lineup tomorrow.
I just talked to Johnson in the hallway. He said he has never had hip issues before, and he does not expect that he will be out for very long. Also, Joe Kelly received hydration last night. He's feeling better, but Cora said they're going to try to stay away from him today as well. And when we come back, Gordon Eads sits down with Chris Sale. Stay with us.
In a Pixar movie that you would bring Rylan and Brayson to, all right? So there was once this teenage boy who went to bed for 5 days. His parents thought he was sick. They thought he had mono, all right? He finally gets out of bed. His father, who was 6'3", says to him, "You're taller than me." He said that the doorway to the room was low. His hair kind of brushed on it. This boy's head suddenly struck that low doorway. His mother walks in the room, Marla, and she says, "Son, what are you standing on?" That boy was you.
Yeah.
Tell us, is that how you remember the story?
It's just like any other story. The legend grows the more you tell it. But yeah, there was a couple week period when I was in high school that I just kind of didn't really leave my room a whole lot. I didn't feel good. And yeah, like I just kind of had a huge growth spurt all at one time.
So what's a huge growth spurt, Chris?
I don't exactly remember. I just remember, I mean, literally being in so much pain. Like my knees and my ankles, I mean, it felt like they were going to explode. I mean, they woke me up in the middle of the night, like these growing pains. I don't know exactly. I probably grew 2 or 3 inches over the course of maybe a couple weeks or something like that. But yeah, I mean, I remember shooting up and not just hurting for a while.
And were you taller than Dad?
I eventually was. When I graduated high school, I was taller than him.
Okay.
It took me a while though. I grew like my sophomore, junior year of high school, so it took me a little bit later. But when I graduated high school, I was taller than my dad.
I do one day want to see the cartoon version of that story. You know. So let's go back even further. Was pitching a passion right from the beginning, and how often were you out there throwing to your dad sitting on the bucket behind home plate?
As many times as I could, until he couldn't feel his shins anymore from me spiking balls. But yeah, it was all the time. I mean, we had a rubber. My mom and her side of the family had a construction company, so they brought a bunch of clay out to the backyard, and my dad went and got a rubber with 3 spikes, and we nailed it into the ground. And we had a chain link fence, and we paced off you know, how far. I think it was 45 feet when it was on the small field.
Yeah. And
it was kind of right at our gate. And my backyard kind of sloped down a little bit already anyway, so we didn't really need a big mound. But yeah, I was at the top of the hill by the oak tree, and my dad was sitting there on a bucket at the gate. And I mean, I just fired baseballs day and night at him all day.
One of the area scouts for the Rockies described you as almost frail when you were in high school. Is that an accurate depiction?
Oh, absolutely. I was 6'4", I think, when I graduated high school.
Yeah.
Maybe 140 pounds.
Wow.
I mean, I was really skinny. I mean, even I look back at pictures of me, you know, my rookie year in Chicago, and I can't even believe how skinny I was then. I mean, I know I'm still, you know, have a thin build now, but it's crazy looking back at those pictures.
Coming out of Lakeland, Florida high school, you weren't exactly an unknown quantity. I mean, the Rockies drafted you on the 21st round, but the colleges didn't exactly knock your door down, did they? And you got a partial scholarship from FGCU. Tell me about your relationship with the Florida Gulf Coast coach, Dave Tollett, and the impact your years at FGCU had on your life.
So my first interaction with Florida Gulf Coast was talking with Dan Roselle, the pitching coach, and then later met Rusty McKee and Coach Toe. Yeah, I remember sitting there. I was in Georgia. I was at East Cobb, and they called me. They're first and basically only school within a few months to call me, and I was excited. You know, it was a Division II school at the time, but they were transitioning into Division I, which would have been my freshman year. So, you know, I had a Division I team or school looking at me to play baseball, and that's kind of all I'd really dreamed of up until then.
You were on Cape Cod, pitching for Yarmouth Dennis, being named the outstanding pitcher in the Cape League. But aside from the pitching, what did a Florida boy think of Cape Cod, and do you have any favorite recollections of that summer?
My favorite part of that summer, my dad and I drove up there to get from Florida and switched on and off driving, pulled into rest areas, slept in the car, wake up, one of us would drive. It was actually really fun. I remember him telling me, because you know, obviously when I was there, you know, Florida Gulf Coast has done a really good job over the last few years. Their baseball program has been unbelievable. They had obviously their best team last year going to a regional, but when I was there, my first year was our first year being Division I, and but we were still really good. We won our conference all 3 years I was there, but it's still a smaller school. You know, it's not, you know, the Arizona States, the
Florida,
UCLA,
Florida State, Miami.
you know, all the big name schools. So my dad's kind of prepping me on this, like, you know, these guys are going to be good. You know, don't be discouraged if you don't see, you know, instant success or have, you know, all this other stuff. So that's kind of what sticks out to me. And our drive home was drastically different than the drive up. So.
You mean after 57 punch outs and 9 walks, something like that for the entire summer?
I don't exactly remember what it was, but it was fun. I remember that time, you know, spending with my dad. I mean, that's a long time to be in a car, and we kind of got to talk a lot and hang out. And he left me that car for the summer, and that car didn't come back the same either.
Chris Sale is the new pitcher for the East.
That same summer, you also pitched here in Fenway Park.
In a Red Sox uniform.
That's right, because your Cape League, you pitched for the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox, right?
Yeah.
What do you remember from that experience?
I just kind of being overwhelmed. It was the first time I'd ever been, like, inside of a big, like, on the field of a major league stadium. Growing up in Lakeland, I went to Tiger Town. Had been there. I went to for my 9th birthday. Went to the inaugural game at Tropicana Field with my uncle. But I'd never been on the field, and that was the first time I was on the field. And it looked huge to me. I mean, you know, third deck makes a huge difference. Yeah. And just trying to throw hard. I mean, I was like, I'm pitching at Fenway Park. They got the radar gun working. I'm going to try to throw as hard as I can.
It couldn't have been too tough. You only threw 6 pitches to get out of your inning. So.
Yeah, it ended up working out pretty well.
Yeah.
Well, some things never change, right? Our thanks to Gordon Eads, Red Sox historian. Some terrific insight there on Chris Sale. Time for the starting lineup now for the Red Sox, brought to you by Toyota's website for deals, buyatoyota.com. Mookie Betts hitting .343 will lead things off. Andrew Benintendi's in left. Steve Pearce, the designated hitter today, with Mitch Moreland at first. Xander Bogaerts, the shortstop. Rafael Devers at third. Eduardo Nunez will man second. Sandy Leon doing the catching. And Jackie Bradley's in center and batting ninth, taking on the right-hander Heath Philmeyer, his first major league start. He replaces the scheduled starter Jake Junis, who went on the DL this morning.
Let's take a look at the Royals defense. They are third in the American League with 41 errors on the season. Dozier will be at third base. Mondesi, the shortstop. Merrifield at second. Moustakas, the first baseman. Left to right, Gordon, Almonte, and Bonifacio. And Butera, who actually pitched in the game last night, will be doing the catching today.
Umpires are brought to you by Toyota's website for deals. BuyAToyota.com. Jim Wolf behind the plate. Rayburn, Blakeney, and Holbrook, who's the crew chief around the bases. We're available. This telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your TV remote. SAP presented by Toyota. Visit Compra2Toyota.com to see Toyota deals not seen on TV.
Buenas tardes, amigos.
It's a beautiful day here in Kansas City. A little cooler than yesterday, actually. Temperature at 88. And nothing but sunshine, not a cloud up there at the moment. As we get set for Game 3, Red Sox looking for yet another sweep after trouncing the Royals 15-4 last night. Mookie Betts is always right in the thick of it. Base hit to begin the ball game, and he would wind up 4 for 6. Benintendi and Pearce to follow. JD Martinez out of the lineup today after fouling pitches off himself 3 times last night, so he was in some pain and a lot of ice required after that one, and he is available to pinch hit according to Alex Cora. Up the middle, they'll skip behind second base. Merrifield up and over to get him. Mookie Betts retired, 1 away.
Yeah, for Philmeyer, this is his first start, as you mentioned, in the big leagues. He's made 3 relief appearances, 1 against Houston, 1 against Seattle, and last time out against Cleveland. He's actually gone as long as 4 innings in relief roles so far this season.
Benintendi next. He is hitting .286 now after a big night last night with a home run, a double, and a career high 4 walks, and he scored 4 times. It's a merry-go-round for the Red Sox, particularly after about the 5th inning.
Yeah, 2 different ball games last night. The first half of the game and then the second half completely belonged to the Boston Red Sox.
And a slicer foul out of play. Red Sox now 6-2 on the trip. They have won 5 in a row and 10 out of the last 12. And this offense is in high gear.
That ball Benintendi hit out for a home run last night. That ball was up around the letters, a little higher than the letters, around the shoulders. And he got on top of it to take it out of the ballpark.
1-2. Home run number 14 last night.
Yeah, 14. The RBI is 55. I mean, gone. High fly ball that made it into the bullpen area, but a high pitch that he was able to lift out of the ballpark. What a night Betts and Benintendi had. It was incredible.
And on base collectively 10 times. You can make a strong case for 5-6 Red Sox for the All-Star team, and Benintendi has a pretty good case. Into center field, approaching that Almonte, but it dunks down for a base hit, so he's at it again, a single with 1 down.
He is now 6 for his last 12. That sounded a little bit like it was toward the end of the bat. That ball away from him, it was toward the end of the bat, but he's able to drop it into center field for the base hit. So with he at first, Benintendi certainly a threat to steal. 16 on the season, has been caught 1 time.
So Benintendi aboard in front of Steve Pearce, the DH here. 309, 4 homers. He's driven in 18 runs and has fit in so smoothly with the Red Sox. Mitch Moreland on deck. Benintendi thought about it as it got away from Butera, but he retreats to first.
Yeah, watching that delivery to home plate, he's a guy that he can certainly get a jump against. There's no question about that. Kind of a high, slow leg kick. And, of course, you don't have Salvador Perez behind the plate tonight. Or this afternoon, I should say. There's the leg kick right there, and Benintendi taking a look at it. Ball got away. Now he goes back to first base.
One down, one on. Red Sox looking to strike early again, as they've often done on this road trip. Red Sox trailed 3-0 last night, but then rallied, and the Royals were a big helping hand, to be completely honest, because they walked the Red Sox 13 times. One shy of a Royal club record. And he's gone to 3-0. Philmeyer has on Pierce.
Pierce takes a look down to third base, see if he's got the green light or not on the 3-0 count.
He's taking, and that's ball 4. So the Royals are at it again. Another walk. Steve Pierce takes the first one today. That'll put him on at first and second for Mitch Moreland. Who has continued to have an outstanding year. 289, 11 homers, 41 driven in. And Mitch on a 4-game hitting streak. He reached base 3 times yesterday. Actually got the game-winning sacrifice fly. One that put the Red Sox ahead for good. Hits that one sharply. Snagged by Merrifield. Down to second. Got one there on to first. And a double play. Nicely turned by Kansas City, and that will retire the side. The Red Sox failed to score here in the first inning. Nissan dealer taking on Rick Porcello. It'll be Whit Merrifield at the top. He's been their best player. Bonifacio in right. Moustakas at first base for the second consecutive day. Duda the DH with Gordon in left. Hunter Dozier at third base. Almonte in center. Mondesi the shortstop. And Butera catches and bats ninth. Up against the Sox starter presented by New England Audi dealers. Rick Porcello going after his 11th win. And certainly had one of the most dramatic hits of the season in his last start, but he also outpitched Max Scherzer.
The Red Sox defense is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. They are 4th in the American League, 45 errors on the season. Rafael Devers at third base, Xander Bogaerts the shortstop, Eduardo Nunez at second, Mitch Moreland at first, Benintendi, Bradley Jr., and Benson the outfield, and Sandy Leone doing the catching.
Merrifield, a 293 hitter. He has a 9-game hitting streak and make it 10. He is certainly their hottest hitter. Right up the middle for a base hit.
Now these guys don't wait around. You know, they don't see very many pitches at all in a bat. Toughest to strike out in the league, but they don't walk at all, so they swing. And first pitch, two-seamer right there that stayed up in the zone, taken up the middle for the base hit.
Kansas City has dropped 8 in a row. And 27 out of 32 to fall 38 games below 500 for the first time since they ended the 06 season with 100 losses. Bonifacio has been swinging a good bat too. 296 for the year. Not that long ago he returned from an 80-game suspension for a violation of Major League Baseball's Joint Drug Prevention and Treatment Program. He tested positive back in March for a performance enhancer. Guy at first base, Merrifield, will run.
Yeah, 16 steals, but he has been caught 5 times.
I noticed Robinson Cano was also suspended 80 games for the same violation. He has finally apologized to his teammates.
Took him long enough.
He said, "I was waiting for the right time." Apparently that came yesterday. And there for a strike. Stockus on deck. Of course, he's their everyday third baseman. Last couple of games playing first base. There was a Yankee scout in the stands yesterday. According to reports, they're looking for a first baseman, if you believe some of those rumors. Fly to center field. Jackie Bradley on the approach. He's got that. Going to fire into first base and going to be close. In fact, he is going to be safe by an eyelash at first.
Now, why would Merrifield even take a chance? He knows better than anybody on the field what kind of arm Jackie Bradley has. There he is, coming back head first into first base and almost was out. Very close play. Red Sox may be looking at this on replay.
I'm not sure that Mitch Moreland was actually on the bag.
Well, if he was on the bag, I think he was out, and I think they are going to look at it.
So this is going to be challenged. Did he get back? That's the question.
That's the question. Did the foot get back on the bag? He was a little bit off, and then he put that toe back on it. But the question is, was the hand back on before the toe? Oh, that's close. Very, very close.
With the naked eye, it looked like the Red Sox got him. It looked like Jackie Bradley had cut him down. But the play is under review. And if they overturn this, it'll be a double play. You make a great point about Merrifield because, of course, they were college teammates.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is he thought maybe that ball was going to drop in because he got a long way off first base, and he knows that Jackie can throw. I think he's going to be out.
First base umpire DJ Rayburn ruled him safe. But under review here in the first inning of a 0-0 game.
Or the big unconclusive.
Yeah. You got to have evidence to overturn it. I could see where this might take a little while. It's difficult to see if there's daylight between that spike and the base, or did he have his foot up against it? So they're taking a long, hard look at this one. Bonifacio with the fly to center field, and Jackie Bradley after the catch, a one-hop toss to first base.
Everybody's looking at it. All the players looking at it on the big screen. Now we're waiting for the major decision, and here it comes.
He's safe.
Not enough evidence. And Cora does not like it.
So he loses his challenge here in the first inning. Let's take another look.
Now the foot is off the bag right there. Then he goes to tag it, and then the question was, did he tag it before the hand got into the bag? That's the big question. I'm not sure there's enough evidence to overturn that call.
So one down with a man on. Moustakas 258, 17 homers. He's driven in 56 runs. Probably no coincidence that he is playing first base again. Royals probably going to start moving people. They already have, actually, with Herrera going to Washington. And pop foul out of play. But a really good player and an RBI single in the third inning last night. 38 home runs last year.
Shift on the infield, as you can see, 3 players on the right side, and they leave Bogarts over at the shortstop position. Put Devers at second base. They were not doing that earlier in the season.
Popped it up mile high into right. Betts has all day to creep in under this. 2 down. Lucas Duda, the DH, will be next. Red Sox coming home tomorrow for a week of games right before the All-Star break. Eduardo Rodriguez will pitch tomorrow at 7:10 against Texas. Chris Sale's going to go on Wednesday. The Red Sox have not determined who's going to pitch on Tuesday in the middle game. And then Toronto in for the last 4 before the All-Star break. Red Sox leading the majors with 61 wins. They have the highest winning percentage in the game at .678. We're going to be talking to Alex Cora in the middle of the third inning. That one smoked to center field. Jackie back, racing back. He's got it on the warning track. As casual as ever, he puts it away. 1 man left. Auto Service, we're always here to get you there. Xander Bogaerts against Kansas City, 5 games, hitting right at 300 with a couple of home runs. Big double last night. He's driven in 9 runs against them. He's had a lot of big hits this year, hasn't he?
Yeah, he really has. He's played, you know, what's impressed me too is the solid defense that he's had at shortstop. You're looking at, you know, how many games we played? 90 games, 5 errors at shortstop. That's pretty impressive.
It's impressive as heck, and not sure he gets as much attention on that as he deserves. Heath Philmeyer filling in today as an emergency starter. Allowed a base hit and a walk last inning, but also got a double play ball. So it'll be Xander Bogaerts, Rafael Devers, Eduardo Nunez here in the second. Xander 277, 14 home runs. And the go-ahead 3-run double last night that turned the tide. To that point, it was kind of a bizarre game. Of course, David Price hit 3 batters in 1 inning that tied a major league record. And there's another base hit for Xander Bogaerts as he goes the other way. So he's on with a sharp single.
Yeah, Bogaerts now 5 for his last 10 at the plate, taking that ball to the opposite field. One thing that Xander has the ability to do now is use the whole field. When he first came up, he was pretty much an opposite field hitter. Now when he gets the ball inside, he's able to pull it. Still grabs those base hits to the opposite field.
Rafael Devers 245, 14 home runs. 1 for 4 with an RBI last night. In last 9 games, Rafael Devers is batting .343 with 2 home runs. He has been seeing the ball well.
Yeah, a couple of throws to first base, Dave, on Xander, and Xander's only got 2 steals on the season.
Nice hole there on the right side for Devers. And he finds it for a base hit. Bogart's into second base. Up with it, Bonifacio, and it's first and second again for the Red Sox.
Well, Devers not wasting any time. He picks on the first pitch, and it's a breaking ball. It looks like a slider or a cut fastball that's away, and he hooks it in that hole between first and second. Almost hit Bogarts. Xander had to slow up just a little bit, and of course that's why he had to stop at second base. But the Red Sox threatening here in the second.
Brings up Nunez at 256, half a dozen home runs for Eduardo, and a 3-game hitting streak. Last night's game took over 4 hours to play, 4 hours and 3 minutes, the longest 9-inning game for both teams this season. Sharply hit, Mondesi to Merrifield on to Moustakas, and the Red Sox have already been doubled up twice in this one. Down to third is Bogarts, but with 2 gone.
And that's hurt them a little bit in the first 2 innings. They've had plenty of guys on base, but double plays. The one that Moreland hit into was really hit hard, and this ball directly hit the shortstop, Mondesi, who didn't have to move but 1 step to his right.
So now it's up to Sandy Leon, who gets the catch today, and he's going to be catching a lot from here on in to the All-Star break with the injury to Christian Vasquez last night, who is now on the disabled list with a fractured right pinky. Sandy came on last night when Vasquez came out after the 7th inning and went 2 for 2 with an RBI. So he had a very productive night despite starting the evening on the bench. No score here in the second. Bogarts at third. Bomar's a good athlete. He's a converted college shortstop. But he was as surprised as anybody else that he got the start here this afternoon against the Red Sox. Ripped but foul. Red Sox have had some very good swings early. Nothing across the plate just yet. Well, we enjoyed the Gordon Eads interview with Chris Sale. You saw a chunk of that right before the first pitch here today. Chris Sale very, very revealing in interviews like that. Look, comebacker, and Phil Meyer will get out of the inning despite the Red Sox first 2 hitters getting base hits.
Show has you covered as TC brings you all the must-see moments from the past week. Don't miss the Ultimate Red Sox Show tonight at 6:30, presented by Sam Adams, the official beer of the Boston Red Sox.
0-0 game going to the bottom half of the second inning in Kansas City. Jerry Remy, Dave O'Brien, and Garen Austin alongside here. Game number 91 for the Red Sox. We're 61-29. Playing some of their best baseball of the season right now. Porcello to take on Gordon, Dozier, Almonte. And we breathlessly await the running of the condiment race a little bit later here.
And when is that, Dave?
Let's say it's like maybe the 5th inning or something like that.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
I heard Mustard made a valiant comeback after a gruesome injury here.
Yeah, that was good to see.
2 nights ago. In there for a called strike on Gordon. A lot of experience against Rick Porcello, a .239 hitter against the right-hander. This guy's a superb defensive outfielder. One. Fought off foul.
I remember when he first came up to the big leagues, and there were people here in Kansas City saying, we've got the next George Brett. They had him at third base, and never really worked out that way, obviously, as he moved to the outfield. George Brett, one of the retired numbers.
1-2 is in there for strike 3. Froze him. Rick Porcello picks up his first K as he gets Gordon. Time now for our Xfinity X1 report. Let's go to Garen Austin. Additional time here for you, Garen, because you got a few.
Hi, OB. Well, really tough news about Christian Vasquez today. I talked to him in the clubhouse, and he said he didn't even know that he fractured his finger when he slid. He said it wasn't until he went to throw that he realized something was wrong, and it was swelling. Now, Vasquez was wearing a mitt for the first time. He jammed his thumb back in Boston. They wanted him to wear it. He said it's tough, but hopefully he'll be back in a few weeks. And I also talked to Blake Swihart, and he said this is why he's been staying ready and staying prepared and never lost that mindset that he is still a catcher. He said it might take him a little while to get into a rhythm with some of the guys in the bullpen, but he is ready to go. And guys, Core announces Swihart will catch Eduardo Rodriguez tomorrow.
All right, Garen, thank you very much. That's game 1 back at Fenway against Texas. Swihart, who had a hit last night. Line shot, but a foul ball down the line by Dozier, just a .213 hitter. Vasquez actually caught the bottom of the 7th inning. That play you saw occurred obviously in the top of the 7th inning. Yankees and Toronto are tied up 1-1. They're in the 6th. Sox with a 2-game lead in the division. And a wave and a miss, and he's retired on strikes. Dozier down hacking. 2 up, 2 down.
Good slider there by Porcello, down and away. Dozier strikes out a lot. This is the 54th time this year he has struck out with only 13 walks. He will chase. You get ahead of him, they'll chase pitches. The whole team will chase pitches out of the strike zone.
Amica Insurance, great service, great coverage, a great price for auto, home, and life insurance. So Porcello has put away the first 2. Abraham Almonte, a switch hitter, batting just .185, gets in. It's a team that has a devil of a time scoring runs. Porcello coming into the day with 10 wins, tied for 5th in the American League. Hard hit, but Nunez to his right gobbles it up, and that'll be all. 1, 2, 3 they go. the official batting glove of Major League Baseball and the Red Sox, by your local New England Ford dealers. Sullivan Tire and Complete Auto Service. Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com. Southwest Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees, that's transparency. And by your local Nissan dealer.
That popcorn looks awfully good.
People should know you're a popcorn nut.
Well,
Do people know that yet? I mean,
I know.
You eat your weight in popcorn every year at the ballpark.
I enjoy a little popcorn, prior to dinner at the ballpark.
That's your appetizer back at Fenway. And our press room popcorn's pretty good. Jackie Bradley lead things off here in the third inning. No score. I can't do a movie without it.
I can't do a movie. I don't have the patience.
Little roller to second base. Merrifield gathers, and he will retire his college teammate. One away.
Tonight at 10 p.m. on NESN Sports Today, we'll have a full recap of today's Sox game, plus highlights from the Yankees and the Blue Jays. NESN Sports Today is presented by People's United Bank, where the technology is as helpful as the people.
Mookie Betts 0 for 1. He's grounded to second. Came in leading the major leagues in batting average. At .343. Number 2 in the American League in runs scored. JD Martinez is 4th. Andrew Benintendi is 5th. Sox, the number 1 run scoring team in all of baseball, are also number 1 in hits, number 1 in doubles, and a bunch of other categories. That first run here today, and that's going to miss at 94. Three and one. First couple of innings, the Red Sox have had good opportunities to score. Benintendi with a single, Pierce with a walk in the first inning, a double play ended that. And then the first 2 Red Sox singled in the second inning, and another double play essentially ended that. That's going to be ball 4. So 2 walks in this one after the Red Sox took 13 last night. Runner on for Andrew Benintendi. So the speed of Mookie Betts aboard. Benintendi with a single in the first. He has heated up again, and that batting average is rocketing up again. On base 6 times last night.
Been throwing him a lot of changeups in the game last night, which didn't work because he walked 4 times and then hit a home run, of course. But swing and a miss on that first changeup right here.
One ball and 1 strike. Steve Pierce on deck. Benintendi also scoring a career high 4 runs. 4 walks, a double, and a home run. And the Sox victory yesterday.
Two balls, 1 strike. Wouldn't be surprised to see Betts take off on this pitch.
Caught only twice. Not a real big lead. He lengthens it a bit, not running, and it's fouled away. Even a count of 2-2. Well, the season began in the month of March this year. More off days this year, a later All-Star break. You add it all up, and the Red Sox, after the All-Star game, will have only 64 games left. 2-2 with a runner taken off, and that one ripped into right field for a base hit. Benintendi now 2 for 2. Mookie Betts to third, takes the turn, but he'll stay put first and third. Red Sox are at it again.
Now Benintendi very quickly off 2 for 2 in this ball game. With Betts off at first base, he has no problem making third. Looked like an off-speed pitch again. That was away from him, but he's able to take that one and hook it in the right field for the base hit.
You can't keep Benintendi off the base.
Already in this game, they've had 4 at-bats, and they've been on 3 times. Betts with a walk, Benintendi with 2 base hits.
So Benintendi has now been on base 9 consecutive plate appearances. But the Red Sox are overdue to break through in this one. 2 for 2 here today. On base 6 times yesterday, and on Friday in his last plate appearance he had a base hit. So 9 consecutive plate appearances. Here's taking a walk in the first inning. Red Sox have already accepted a couple of those. They've had plenty of base runners in these first 3 innings. And Phil Meyer with a 1-1. And a dive back by Benintendi. Phil Meyer's been able to help himself with the ground ball here early when he's gotten into trouble. And he has been in a lot of trouble. Be chatting with Alex Cora from the dugout right after this half inning. Hoping to find out a little more on the status of JD Martinez, out of the lineup today after several foul balls that he hit off himself last night. JD went 2 for 5. Leading the majors in home runs, RBIs, total bases. As his spectacular season just gets better and better. It's like a lock to make his second All-Star team. Here's the 1-2. All-Star teams will be announced later this evening for the American and National Leagues. And man on deck, Mitch Moreland is a very good case. And a 2-2 coming. High and tight to fill up the count.
Trying to get Pierce out with some high, hard fastballs, but he hasn't been chasing them.
Mookie Betts at third. Andrew Benintendi at first, so excellent speed on the bases. 1 down, scoreless here in the third. There goes Benintendi, and there's a high fly ball into left field. Mookie Betts back. Gordon up with it, has an excellent arm. Here comes Mookie trying to score, and he slides in with the first run of the ball game. With Gordon, you never know, especially from about, medium deep in left field, but Mookie Betts is far too quick.
Yeah, he's generally very, very accurate with his throws, and that was a fairly accurate throw there, but Betts just has too much speed, and he goes back to tag up and really not even close at all at home plate. So instead of a double play, the Red Sox are able to get a sacrifice fly and get the first run of the ball game. Here's a throw by Gordon, not bad, but just not in time to get the very fast Mookie Betts.
So the Sox grab a 1-0 lead. Mitch Moreland double up in the first inning, so he's 0 for 1. Red Sox just remarkable when they get the first run. They are 40-4 when they score first. Mookie Betts took a walk to reach, and Those walks have done plenty of damage against Kansas City. Last couple of ball games, Red Sox have been capitalizing like crazy. Oh, 2.
A good changeup again that time by Phil Meyer. He's thrown quite a few of them in this inning. You see the grip, and then you see the action over the middle of the plate, but down.
Benintendi was short lead at first with 2 away. And he fouled it away, just nudged it foul.
Once again gets the changeup. That time Moreland able to foul it off.
Xander Bogaerts on deck. Red Sox have finally broken through here on a beautiful sunshiny afternoon in Kansas City. Mitch Moreland with 11 home runs. Win today, and the Red Sox would close out their last road trip before the All-Star break at 7-2. Trying for that rarity back-to-back sweeps on the road. Into the shifts. Merrifield from shallow right field. Be close. Moreland got it up there very quickly, but he is out. And that will retire the side. But the Red Sox are on the scoreboard here, a 1-0 lead. Middle of third inning. Alex Cora coming up in just a moment. We check out the upcoming home schedule now after today. Red Sox heading back home against Texas and Toronto for 7 games right before the break. It'll be on the road right after. The Red Sox with a very nice schedule after the All-Star break. They do not go to the West Coast and will only go as far as Chicago. As far as that travel is concerned, Red Sox with a 1-0 lead. Happy to be joined by the manager, Alex Cora. Alex, thanks for being with us. And can you give us an update on JD Martinez out of the lineup today? And is he available for you, Alex?
He's available. A little bit banged up. Yesterday he fouled off like 7 pitches of his left foot, so we'll take it easy with him, but he's available.
And how about Christian Vasquez, Alex? Obviously the fractured pinky finger, but you sent him to a hand specialist. How concerned are you?
I'm concerned whenever you're talking about hands, and obviously we know it's a fracture. Let's see how long he's going to be out for. Hopefully he comes back sooner rather than later. One thing for sure, we got Blake, who's a very capable catcher. He's been with us the whole time. We trust him, and he's going to be back there this week.
Alex, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Red Sox trying to go 7-2 on the road trip, and the skipper has talked about that. It'd be a great road trip if the Red Sox can pull that off, heading back to Fenway. On top here, 1-0. Rick Porcello going back at it against Mondesi, Butera, and Merrifield. And again, it will be Eduardo Rodriguez on the hill for Game 1 against Texas tomorrow. He goes in 10-3 against left-hander Mike Minor. And Chris Sale will have one more start before the break on Wednesday at 7:10 against Texas, which lines up Chris Sale very nicely to be perhaps the starter for the American League. We'll find out later today if Chris Sale is in fact an all-star yet again. He would be up against the ageless Bartolo Colon.
If he's not an all-star again, I'll stay in Kansas City for a month.
I'll stay with you. Talk about mortal locks. Mondesi, switch hitter, hitting 200 with a homer. Alcides Escobar had started 421 consecutive games. The regular shortstop dating back to September of 2015. There's a bunt attempt but fouled back. That came to an end today. A consecutive game streak.
This kid here is going to be a good player, Mondesi. I've only seen him in a couple of games, but I like the way like his actions, the way he goes about things. Trying to drag a bunt that time.
And he can fly. He can really run. His dad, Raul Mondesi, you may remember from his Dodger days, was a power guy who could also run. I do not think his son is going to be much of a power threat, but he has a lot of other tools. And he cuts and misses. Down he goes, and another strikeout. That's 3 of the last 4 hitters for Rick Porcello.
Yeah, one of the tools he's going to have to work on is hitting that changeup when it's in that kind of location. Porcello, I mean, there's a lot of guys who are going to have to work on that because that is filthy. Look how much movement that has going down and away from the left-handed hitter.
Drew Butera, the catcher, who last night retired 1 out of the 6 batters that he faced as a pitcher.
He was wasting no time at all, was he? He was getting the ball and throwing it.
He sure was. He's done it before now 6 times in his career, so he's their go-to guy. How does that work when spring training rolls around? Does the manager pin down that guy who's going to be that pitcher in a situation like last night?
I've never heard of that in spring training, but you know there are certain guys on your roster where you know you're not going to use them on that particular day, and you know you can run him out there to do what he had to do last night. But what an uncomfortable feeling that has to be.
He looked it too, didn't he? He looked uncomfortable.
You know, he actually mixed in some breaking balls. It was a surprise to me to see him. He was balking on every pitch too, but I'm sure the Red Sox didn't want to, you know.
Yeah.
They didn't want to say anything at that point.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. He said after the game, I just didn't want anyone to get hurt, including myself.
Yeah.
Did he hold up? They do appeal. No swing. 3-2. A really fine defensive catcher. Hitting just 152 with Merrifield on deck. And a chopper foul off third. Porcello looking for that second out here in the third. And looking for back-to-back Ks. Instead of line drive, base hit into left. So they have their second hit off Rick Porcello. Comes with 1 down and brings up Merrifield.
Don't miss WB Mason Extra Innings Live right after the game. TC, Wake, and Steve will break down the key plays of the game, and you'll hear from Rick Porcello and Alex Cora. Who but WB Mason celebrating over 20 years of same-day delivery.
With Merrifield with a base hit in the first inning to run his hitting streak to 10 straight. You wonder when you look at those numbers. 295. He steals a lot of bases, 16 stolen bases. He led the American League in that category last year with 34. And he's a guy who can play about 5 or 6 different positions. You wonder how long he's going to be here.
Well, there's a lot of teams obviously that would be interested in a guy like that. He's a Ben Zobrist type player, as I mentioned on Friday, and you know, with more speed. He could be a big help to a contender.
He was fortunate not to be doubled up by his South Carolina teammate Jackie Bradley in the first inning. He was ruled safely back to the bag by the umpire and on review. And apparently because Mitch Moreland, according to what they looked at in New York, did not have his foot on the bag. Checked his swing, fouled it back. Bonifacio in the on deck area almost got nailed by that. Too close for comfort. Porcello looking to dial up a double play ball. 2-2. Merrifield's a tough one to double up though. He's had a good series. He's 5 for 10 against the Red Sox, and a 2-2. see tonight that Mark Reynolds had against Miami last night?
The 10 RBIs?
10 RBIs in one ball game.
So that's a pretty good. That's not a bad month.
They have played a lot better since the Red Sox left, but they have been playing the Marlins. 2-2. Up the middle, sharply hit. He's 2 for 2. The second base, Butera. And the Royals have something going on here in the third inning.
Yeah, it looked like the slide at that time that he got from Porcello and took it up the middle. So a base hit on a fastball and a slider in his first 2 at-bats. There's the breaking ball. Really didn't do very much. Kind of stayed out over the plate and a good pitch to hit the Merrifield. That's one. As soon as the pitcher releases it, he knows I have not made a quality pitch right there.
Back-to-back singles in front of Bonifacio. 0 for 1 with a fly to center. Rick coming off a 4-3 win at Washington. He went 6 innings in that one. And had a hit for the ages off of Max Scherzer. Looks like a guy headed for the Hall of Fame when all is said and done.
Actually, maybe the highlight of this trip. That might have been the highlight of the trip.
You're right. And a bases clearing double, drives in 3 against Scherzer. That's going to be one of the hits of the year for the Red Sox, who have had many. 0-1. That's driven out to left. Well struck. Benintendi back. He's not going to get to this. Onto the track. That'll bring it at least 1. Butera's in. Here comes Merrifield. He's going to score. And Kansas City is going to take the lead. Bonifacio with a 2-run double.
Now 3 hits in a row now. The 9, 1, and 2 hitter, and that's a 2-seam fastball that goes right into the power, it looks like, right there, of Bonifacio. All you see is the back of Benintendi tracking that down, and while he's doing that, 2 runs are coming across. So a 2-1 Kansas City lead now.
As mentioned, 3 consecutive hits brings up Moustakas. 0 for 1. He's flying to right field. Only 1 out. And that's a rocket down the line, but foul quickly into the stands. So Porcello getting touched up here all of a sudden by the Royals. Stock is leading their ball club with 56 RBI. Lucas Duda on deck. 2-1 Royals. Stock is a big part of their championship club just a few years ago. They went to back-to-back World Series and won one of them. Very tough times at the moment. Skipped up there and blocked by Sandy Leon. A runner, Bonifacio, stay put at second. He's another guy you wonder how much longer he's going to hang around. Signed a 1-year deal here, and a lot of teams might have interest in Mike Moustakas as he pops this one up on the infield. Devers with a play, and Rafael Devers with the catch for the second out. So 2 down due to the DH today. He's the cleanup man. 0 for 1 with a fly out. And Porcello trying to limit the damage here. 3 hits in the inning. Duda takes a big cut. He's a big guy. former New York Met. And a solo home run in the second inning last night off of Price.
That was on a changeup inside.
In there for strike one. Due to also a rare triple in the seventh inning on Friday, his first in 8 years. He had played almost 800 games in between triples. Oh, 2.
This is the home run last night, coming early in the ball game, and it was a changeup that stayed inside from David Price, and out of the ballpark it goes for the home run.
The Red Sox would rally, come from behind to win the ball game, as Price was lifted in the fifth inning. Runner at second, and rolled foul as he hangs in there.
And a pretty tough changeup that time for Porcello, going down and away from him, just to give himself another chance.
In the inning, base hits by Butera and Merrifield, and Bonifacio with a 2-run double. And that'll be all they get. Swing and a miss, strike 3, but Kansas City has the lead 2-1.
On and makes the visit to the Magic Mountain Ski Resort. Then the Matt Fisherman catches up with a longtime friend and MAA fighter, Nizan Alexander, for an epic wiffle ball tournament. Catch it all on Charlie Moore Outdoors tonight at 7 on Nesson.
Did you say an epic wiffle ball tournament?
Yes, epic.
Well, top half of the fourth, Red Sox down 2-1 here in Kansas City. Bogarts, Devers, Nunez up against Heath Fillmyer in his first major league start. Jake Junis out with back trouble, so he was scratched. He was their scheduled starter today. Xander Bogaerts 1 for 1. He laced a base hit in the second. And I want to correct one thing about Andrew Benintendi, who's 2 for 2 today. He's now reached in 8 consecutive plate appearances, not 9. And that'll be in there for a called strike. Xander, another big night last night, driving in 3. Devers 1 for 1 so far on deck, and the 2-1. Trying to run it in again, 93, but he missed, and it's 3-1, so good count for Xander.
Yeah, he's been very consistent with his fastball, about 93 miles an hour, turns it over a little bit.
Hard hit to the shortstop. It skips off of Mondesi and into center field. Big turn. Bogaerts wants second base. Here's the play. He dives in safely.
Oh, that's great hustle by Bogaerts. Excellent hustle by Xander Bogaerts. Ground ball at the shortstop. You think it's going to be a routine out, right? He boots the ball right here. As you can see, it comes up on him, gets by him, off his fingertips, goes out to center field, and Bogaerts, who is not running hard there, but now starts once he sees the error and just turns on the Jets and turns it into 2 bases. That's heads-up baseball right there.
So on a ground ball right at Mondesi, Bogaerts winds up in scoring position on the E6. And Devers with a chance to tie this one up right away here in the 4th inning. 1 for 1, a base hit in the 2nd. Last 9 games, Rafael Devers .343 with 2 home runs. That was before the base hit. He has been driving in runs too. 16 RBIs over the last 17 games. Good to hear from Alex Cora that JD Martinez would be available today if they find a situation to get him in to hit. He was banged up after last night. Here comes the 1-1. Xander Bogaerts at second, representing the tying run. Philmeyer's done a nice job for them as an emergency starter so far. He's allowed 4 hits. This one popped up off third. Here comes Dozier battling the sun a little bit, but he's got it. 1 away. Ace Ticket is Boston's trusted source for tickets to all Sox games and concerts at Fenway. The prices and service are better than you can imagine. Go to aceticket.com right now. 1 out Nunez next. He was up in a situation to do damage in the 2nd inning, but he hit into a double play. 6-4-3. Sox have been doubled up twice. Sucked to right. Bonifacio has that, but Bogaerts is around to score easily, and the Red Sox quickly tie the ball game. The error a big factor there. Nunez picks up his 23rd RBI.
Yeah, good hustle by Bogaerts to get to second base, get in the scoring position, and Nunez going to the opposite field. Nunez now 6 for his last 15. Takes that little breaking ball right there and inside outs it to the opposite field for the base hit. So the Red Sox tie the game up as Nunez picks up his 23rd RBI.
And Boston with 5 hits now brings up Sandy Leon. He had a comebacker that Philmeyer handled and threw him out his first time up. Runner going and then stopping. Throw down to second. Now back to first. He'll dive back in safely.
That has to be a missed sign right there. It's probably a hit and run play that was put on, and Leon missed the sign because Nunez is going to second base. When he saw that he was not swinging, that's when he stopped and was able to get back to first. So somebody missed a sign right there.
So often that results in an out.
There's Nunez taking off. Now he's looking back like it's going to be a hit and run, but he doesn't see Leon swing, so he's able to head back to first base and fortunately get back there in time.
Not running this time, and it's through there for a called strike. Sandy's had a hot bat going for the last 28 games, hitting .322. Going to be doing a lot of catching in the days coming up, with Vasquez now on the disabled list. And a ground ball to first. Moustakas to second. Back to first base. And another double play. The Red Sox hit into their third one here this afternoon. KM Fenway Franks at your grocer right now. KM, together we grill. Looking forward to doing some of that at the All-Star break, which is right around the corner. Red Sox heading home against Texas and Toronto for 7, and that'll be it for the so-called first half. Way beyond the midway point, though, of course. The All-Star game itself will be on Tuesday, July 17th in Washington, D.C. See how many the Red Sox will put on the American League All-Star team. We'll find out later on this evening. You do know that Mookie Betts and JD Martinez were leading in their categories for voting, to be voted in by the fans. This one tied up 2-2.
It's a good thing there was no contact by Gordon, because Bogaerts at that time was just running across the diamond to get in that shift position. He was on the move as the pitch was coming to home plate. Watch Bogey start to go, and they want him in the shift. he never quite got there.
One into right field, and that'll drop in for a base hit. So Gordon is on. Leading off the 4th inning. They had 3 hits last inning. And as we have said throughout the series, they do not wait around to swing the bat.
No, they're unbelievable. It's you know, 1, 2, 3 pitches and bring up the next guy.
Which is Hunter Dozier, struck out in the 2nd inning. 0 for 4 last night, so he's without a hit his last 11 at bats. And a dribbler on a charge. Nunez, he shovels it and gets him down to second. Gordon with 1 away. Let's get down to Guerin.
Obi, I was talking with pitching coach Dana Levangie, and he said what stands out about Rick Porcello is his willingness to try to get better every start. He's always asking questions and willing to put his work in, but Levangie said the key for Porcello is staying true to his delivery. And when I asked Levangie about Porcello's big hit the other night, he said it was impressive. It was fun to see how excited everyone was in the dugout, but he started to get concerned. He said Rick's pitching well, it's extremely hot, now he's swinging the bat, he's running the bases. You start getting worried about energy levels because every time that happens, you're losing an inning. When I mentioned that Rick was talking with hitting coach Tim Hires, Dana told me that no one has asked Rick to DH yet, guys, but if they did, he would be more than willing.
Oh, I think he would after that swing. Almonte 0 for 1, a runner at second for Kansas City in a 2-2 game. I can understand worrying about that and the heat and everything else. but it's a 3-run double off Max Scherzer.
Yeah, I honestly don't think Brick was feeling the heat at all.
No, he was floating into second base. It's now even at 5. As the 2018 Red Sox look for their 62nd win. 61-29. First time the Red Sox have been as many as 32 above 500 since 2013.
Got this theory I was thinking about. I've been thinking about it for a while, and I thought a lot about it watching the game last night. And I don't know if you agree with me or not, or if the Red Sox would even consider it. But thinking about the pitching rotation, the way it's set up right now, where you have Sale, Price, Porcello. And I'm wondering, after you see a guy like Sale, I can speak as a hitter, as a left-handed hitter, for example. You see a guy like Sale who's off the charts, just off the charts, and it's going to be a hard 0 for 4 when you face him. Then you come back and you see another left-hander in David Price right after him. I'm wondering if it'd be worth a shot to tweak, to put Porcello behind Sale and then have David Price. Because the reason I say that is, you're not going to get the same lineups, and you're not going to get, back-to-back right-handed hitter lineup. And I just think you get a totally different look. You get the right-hander, then you get back the left-hander again.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just something I've been thinking about, and I don't know if the Red Sox would even consider that, but it would be something that could help David Price. I really believe that, because when you come off a guy who is as dominant as Chris Sale is, the next person out there, you really can't wait to get a bat, because unless you got another Chris Sale, it's, you figure you're gonna have an easier night at it.
And there's only one of those.
So I'm thinking flip the right-hander, put the right-hander maybe behind Sale, and then come with David Price after that. Now, I still understand you have 2 back-to-back lefties. I get that.
Mondesi was swinging bunt up first base line, but foul.
You'll have Price and you'll have Rodriguez, but they're a little different styles. So that's just, I'm just throwing it out there. I'm curious what Red Sox fans would think about that, and what, the Red Sox, if that's something that they might think about tweaking. Now, it's hard to say tweak stuff when you have a record like you do.
Well, yeah. It's almost like, don't fix what's not broken. But
exactly.
It could really benefit David Price, couldn't it?
That's what I believe.
I'd love to hear the Red Sox reaction to that. Dana LeVangie and
They'd probably call me crazy.
No,
but that's okay.
I don't know why.
I can think.
Mondesi with a foul. First time up, he struck out. Well, you're talking about going from a guy who throws 99 to 100 to a David Price who throws about 93.
And you get, then you get a totally different style. Obviously, you get a right-hander out there next, which switches the lineup around a little bit. You don't get back-to-back games out of certain players who's got totally different stuff, than Sale has.
Yep.
And then you bring in a David Price after bring the lefty back after Porcello. I don't know. That's just something that's been going through my mind for the last couple of weeks.
I love the idea. Fascinated to hear what Alex thinks about that, and frankly what the pitching staff would think about that. The decision made by the manager. Skipped up there, and a runner is now caught off. Bogarts made a nice save on the throw, and diving in safely is Gordon down to third base on what turns out to be a wild pitch.
Now, the only thing Leon could have done right there is fake a throw to second base and hope that they got Gordon going to third base. See the ball bouncing away right there. Gordon's out there. He slipped a little bit. That's why he didn't go back to second. And he becomes very aggressive and makes third base. But a fake right there, just a fake, and you might have had the man at third base.
It's a nice athletic play by Xander Bogaerts to save that.
Yep.
So runner at third with 2 down, 2-2 on Mondesi. And a full count. Butera on deck, the number 9 hitter. Following this weekend, the Red Sox will have 41 home games, 30 road games remaining. Schedule certainly turns in the Red Sox favor. Come the second half, here comes the payoff pitch. Wrapped foul. Tied up 2-2 in the fourth.
Well, that's my thought for the day, and that's usually all I have is one per day.
I think it's downright fascinating, and if someone will take it and run with it.
No, I think it's just it's just something I've been thinking about. That could benefit David Price.
Yep. 3-2 fouled, and he's still alive. Mondesi.
I know when I used to face a stud for a pitching staff. It's like it's going to be a rough day. You just know it's going to be a tough day. And then the next guy that comes in, it's like, you're anxious you can't wait to hit, and you just hope it's not a different style type of guy. Porcello would be a different style, obviously.
Line shot into left center field, down for a base hit. That'll chase in another run. Gordon will score. Kansas City back in front. Second hit in the inning off Rick Porcello. Mondesi with his 6th RBI.
Yeah, Mondesi taking the ball the other way, and they keep battling back to the Kansas City Royals. That's a changeup, it looks like, away. That time that Mondesi goes with. And he drops it in for the base hit. And Gordon comes across to score the 3rd run of the ball game for Kansas City.
Now the Royals with some good swings these last 2 innings. They've piled up 5 hits these last 2 frames off of Porcello. So Mondesi will drive in Gordon to make it 3-2. And send up Drew Butera, who had a base hit his first time up. So Rick Porcello scuffling a little bit here in the early stages this afternoon.
Now Mondesi certainly a threat to run at first base. 4 steals, caught 1 time.
Two away. Here's the 1-0. High fly ball into center field. Jackie Bradley's there and battling that sun. He angles the body to make the catch, but he hauls it in. Another run in. 3-2 the Royals. Supporting New England communities. That's why we're proud to contribute to the Red Sox Foundation, which has distributed more than $95 million, providing kids and families in need with health, education, recreation, and social services. Famous fountains here in Kansas City at Kauffman Stadium, where the Royals have the lead 3-2 going to the 5th inning. Jackie Bradley had an interesting dance step there to angle his body against the sun to make that catch for the third and final out moments ago. So he will lead things off against Heath Fillmyer, who maybe has been a little bit more difficult on the Red Sox lineup here today than anticipated, as an emergency starter just brought back from the minor leagues. Bradley's 0 for 1 with a ground to second. Mookie Betts on deck. Red Sox finishing up the road trip today. They played the most road games in the majors this year. This is number 51. Fly ball more off the end of the bat. Almonte will wait on it. One fast out.
Tomorrow at 6, don't miss Red Sox first pitch presented by Joseph Abboud, available at Men's Warehouse. TC and Steve will preview the series against the Texas Rangers.
Dennis Eckersley will be in the booth for that one. Red Sox coming home for the last 7 before the break. Here's Mookie Betts now. Mookie walked and scored a run in the third. Hard hitting the base hit past the diving Dozier into left field. So Mookie's on again. And again and again and again. He's hitting .409 in the daytime. That's tops in the American League.
Yep, 4 times now. The 1 and 2 hitters have been on. Benintendi coming up for his third at bat. A walk and a base hit for Betts. 2 singles for Benintendi.
And every time Mookie's on, which is every time you look up in the series, Moustakas is making him laugh. You're talking through that glove, and he's always got Mookie smiling and laughing over there. He's keeping him loose. Benintendi 2 for 2. And again, Andrew now has reached in 8 consecutive plate appearances.
Now you got to wonder what the Yankee scout thinks about that. Moustakas making Betts laugh. You know, that Yankee Red Sox thing isn't exactly Kansas City Red Sox.
No, sir. All reports there is a Yankee scout on hand watching him play first base. Popped up over third into left. Gordon coming on. He's not going to get there. It's another hit for Benintendi. 3 for 3 in this one. And all manner of hits for him.
Yeah, just a bloop down in left field, and nobody could get to that. I mean, Gordon couldn't get there. Mondesi couldn't get there. Dozier couldn't get there. Nobody. And underneath that, you know, that's like a frustrating swing for a hitter. Then you look up and say, wait a minute, this thing might drop in. And then you're happy. You're very happy at first base.
And now you've reached 9 consecutive plate appearances. If you're Andrew Benintendi, they'll send up Pierce, who has walked and driven in a run with a sacrifice. First and second with 1 out. Pierce continues to do very good work with the bat. Coming into the day, he was 7 for 18 with the Red Sox, with 4 doubles and 2 RBIs since he came on board. Red Sox have out hit the Royals today 7-6. Glenn Sparkman, who is also just up from the minor leagues, the right-hander, working in their bullpen. Again, Fillmyer, a fill-in guy today for the scheduled starter, Jake Junis.
If you watch when you have Betts at first and Benintendi at second and Benintendi at first, watch Benintendi take his lead. He takes it with like an open stance, and he's always got his eyes on Mookie Betts. So if Mookie takes off, he's going to be able to follow him. He's got to know that he's going. He's got one eye on Mookie all the time.
2-2. Good idea for most opponents on the other side to keep one eye on Mookie Betts. Mitch Moreland on deck.
Wants to watch the pitcher, obviously, to make sure he's not going to get picked off, but then he'll take a look over at Mookie, see if he's taken off to make sure he goes too.
That's a rocket into left field for a base hit. In fact, Mookie Betts can only advance to third and stop there. And they're all loaded up now for Moreland as Pierce keeps on hitting.
Now they may make a move to the bullpen here. We'll see. You know, the longest he's gone this inning is 4 innings. Red Sox getting on him pretty good here in the 5th.
3 consecutive hits.
Sparkman is ready, I believe, in the bullpen.
Mitch today hit into a double play. He's also grounded out to second. Mitch Moreland has homered in 2 of 3 games against Kansas City this year. Red Sox with 7 grand slams. Four-game hitting streak for the first baseman. And a man at every base. Betts at third, Benintendi at second, Pierce at first. That'll be in there for a strike, 1-1. Not afraid to go to his off-speed stuff.
No, you're right, Dave. He's been doing that quite frequently in this game. A lot of changeups.
Sox trying to get on top here. Here comes the 1-1 from Phil Meyer. Bogart's on deck. The 2-1 pitch to Moreland now. That one almost got him. 3 balls, 1 strike. Maybe go time here for Moreland on 3-1.
It will be if he gets his pitch. Looking in a certain zone on a 3-1 count. He's got a couple of strikes to work with.
They lead at first, second, and third with 1 away. Here's the 3-1 pitch from Phil Meyer. And he walked him. That'll bring in a run. Here comes Mookie Betts from third. That's going to be the last pitch that the youngster throws here today. We are tied up 3-3. Moreland will pick up an RBI, his 42nd. Mookie Betts scoring again for the second time. And they're going to bring on a reliever now in a tie ball game. And a base is loaded, so he comes on into a hornet's nest. We'll take the break as well. Red Sox still threatening in a 3-3 game. July, when you make a donation of gently used professional clothing at any Men's Warehouse, you help unemployed men and women look their best as they re-enter the workforce. You can learn more at mwsuitdrive.com. Well, they're all loaded up. Red Sox have tied the game 3-3 in a bases loaded walk and an RBI for Mitch Moreland. And here comes Glenn Sparkman, just selected today from AAA Omaha, 7-3, 3.96 ERA between Double and AAA. But the Wolf is at the door as he enters the fray here. Xander Bogaerts with a base hit. He's also reached on an error and scored a run. One man out. So your runners are Benintendi at third, Pierce at second, Moreland at first. And it's a Kansas City team that walks a lot of hitters.
12th most in the league.
That's in there for a strike at 95. So this is a live arm. Sparkman actually made his major league debut with Toronto against the Red Sox last year. And he allowed the go-ahead run to score on a single in the 11th inning. Check swing, and that's a strike. 1-2. Three lifetime grand slams for Xander. All filled up. He spoiled that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 96 on the gun. These three men all belong to Philmeyer, who gets the hook here in the 5th. And the Red Sox trying to cash in. High fly ball center field. Elmonte's back and under. He'll make the catch. Benintendi tagging up. He is easily in the score, and the Red Sox have the lead, with Pierce advancing from second to third. He tagged up as well. So the Sox are in front 4-3.
You know, the Red Sox are really good about this. They get a man at third base, they get that ball in the air, and they get that run home. Stay away from those ground ball double plays. Now, I know they've hit into a couple so far today, you know, that cost them some potential runs. But that's what you're thinking about. When you get those situations, you want a base hit or you want a long fly ball to get that run home. Look for something up in the zone.
53 RBI now for Xander Bogaerts. Here's Devers. Swinging right away. He'll roll it to Merrifield, and that will be it. But the Red Sox score a couple of runs, and they are out in front 4-3.
latest on Red Sox injuries. DCU, Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you?
Now the Red Sox on top here, 4-3 in Kansas City with eyes on a sweep. 4 runs, 8 hits for Boston, 3 runs, 6 hits, and an error for the Royals. Rick Porcello will get the top of the order. A couple of guys who've been tough today, Merrifield and Bonifacio, and then Mike Moustakas. Merrifield with a pair of singles, 2 for 2 with a run. You get him at second base. He can also play the outfield in several other positions. And Porcello could really benefit from a clean inning. The last couple of innings he scuffled a bit. He's allowed 5 hits and 3 runs in the last 2 frames. Trying to send Kansas City to their 9th consecutive loss. Fly toward the alley. Long run. Mookie Betts giving chase. He can't get to it. Takes a hop up into the fence, and that's a 3-hit game for Whit Merrifield down to second with a double. And he has 26 of those.
Yeah, Merrifield came into the game 0 for 3 against Porcello. He's made up for that quickly with a 3 for 3 performance here now. Pretty swing right there, and he runs Mookie Betts back to that warning track. Betts gets it back in quickly, but again, the leadoff double, a man at second base in scoring position. This has not been an easy one.
Bonifacio doubled in 2 runs his last time up. Shot into left center. Past Benintendi. Swinging right away as they almost always do down the right field line, but that'll sell foul.
Back in the 3rd inning, 2 bases for Bonifacio, driving in 2 runs. Got a mislocation there. The ball was supposed to be away. It stayed inside. 2 runs come across for the Kansas City Royals. That gave them the 2 runs they got in the 3rd inning.
Moustakas on deck, nobody out. And he finds the edge of the plate at 91 for strike. Porcello last time out against Washington went 6 innings, allowed 7 hits, 2 runs. Could not get him to chase on that one. Rick's been tough on the road. He has 6 road victories, second most in the majors. Overall at 10-3. But today has been pretty tough. 1-2. That drifted away. Didn't win his 10th last year until September 16th at Tampa Bay. Poke toward right. Mookie Betts in on this and will make the catch. Runner holding at second. 1 away. Time now for the Geico Red Sox moment, honoring the 13 champions in game number 91 that year. The Red Sox would fall to Seattle 11-4. Felix Hernandez limiting the Sox to 2 runs over 7. Raul Ibanez sparked the Mariner offense. He hit his 22nd home run. That was back when King Felix could really bring it. He's not the same pitcher anymore. The Mariners are having an outstanding year. Right now 3.5 games behind Houston. The Astros are hot again. They've won 5 in a row, leading that division. And now Moustakas, who's gone 0 for 2. Tying run and scoring position here for Kansas City. Merrifield can really haul. Into left field, well struck. Benintendi back. Got plenty of room. He'll make the catch, and Merrifield retreats to second base. That's out number 2. And Duda next. Duda has fly to center, and he has struck out. What a beautiful day.
Yeah, this is nice being in Kansas City where it's warm, but the humidity is not 70%. Very nice afternoon for baseball, but anything you want to do here in KC.
Two down, and he will look at a strike. Started him with a curveball. Duda just 1 for 10 against Rick Porcello career. Hard hit foul. Well, give the Royals credit. As much as they have found it difficult to score runs this year, they've swung the bats pretty well here against Porcello.
Yeah, they're putting a lot of pressure on Porcello today. Porcello doesn't exactly have his A+ game today. He's fighting through this one.
Looking to escape the 5th inning without a run. Oh, 2, and he got him.
Good pitch.
With the changeup at 82 to strike out Duda and get out of the inning. Subaru Ascent. Love is now bigger than ever this summer. And by Southwest Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. In Kansas City, Red Sox have a 1-run advantage, 4-3 on the Royals. Sparkman into his second inning. He'll take on the bottom third, Nunez, Leon, and Jackie Bradley, as the Sox try to go 7-2 on this trip. After running away from the Royals 15-4 last night, 10 Red Sox players had an RBI in that game.
Speaking of running away, Ketchup ran away with the condiment race today. It was a no contest win. And at least it was kids today, you know, that were in those uniforms. And I give, who was last? Was it Mustard? I give Mustard a lot of credit. It was like a marathon and finished.
Mustard eventually made it across foul lines. That one's chopped foul. The other night it was pretty gruesome to watch Mustard go down in a heap.
It was very ugly. It was a different age bracket that was in those outfits.
Just a bit, yeah.
And it was a very ugly sight. We didn't want to show it to you over and over again because it wasn't pretty.
Unsightly. The 1-1. Hammered to the shortstop, up with it Mondesi. They set down Nunez, who's 1 for 3. So one away, time for a game break brought to you by Jordan's, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Here's Tom Caron. Did you hear what TC did the other night when we were talking about the condiment race, and we tossed it to him back in the studio? He said, well, that's a victory the Red Sox can relish.
Yeah, he had 1,000 of them.
He was waiting like an hour for that one. He got it in. Sandy Leon 0 for 2, hit into a double play last time. He's also grounded to the pitcher. One away.
I mean, if that happened in Boston, which please don't. I mean, I hope it never does.
Yeah.
But what would it be, like a lobster, a bean, and a cup of chowder?
It would have to be a cup of chowder.
Yeah. Please.
But don't make that suggestion.
No, please
I mean,
don't.
you put that idea in somebody's mind, and they're running to the laptop right now to put that together.
I mean, I'm trying to think what it would be in Boston, but please don't do it. Please, for us. Don't do it. It doesn't. We don't need it at Fenway.
Like how you did that for us. Don't do it. Yeah, but you know, when you toss it out there, you even give what the mascot should be. I mean, you've done the whole marketing campaign.
Like, I got to take credit because I made Wally. I'm not. There's no second doubts about that. People who are around know that.
Yep.
He came prancing out of that wall that first day, and he got booed, like he was the worst player that they've ever seen in the world. And because they were trying to make Wally popular.
You took it and ran with it.
One of my instructions was to make him popular.
Oh, you were instructed. I didn't have any idea.
Well, not instructed, but you know, let's pump up Wally. You know, and so I came up with all kind of crazy ideas. It was driving me nuts, you know, because I was taking this little Wally with me everywhere. We were doing shots around the league. We were going to different places, and you know, to San Francisco, even to Alcatraz. He was everywhere, and it got to a point where all I'm thinking about is Wally's dead.
And they're for strike 3, so 2 down.
But now they love Wally.
Everybody loves Wally.
But that first day was unbelievable when he came out of when he walked out there. It was boo.
Well, the phrase you used was prancing out from out of the wall. Prancing onto the diamond. So.
And now everybody's used to it. You know, would they get used to the condiment race? I hope not.
I'd say no.
Yeah.
I'd lean no. A hard no. At Fenway. Jackie Bradley is grounded out and flied up, but I almost guarantee there'll be a memo circulated when we get back to Boston, and you'll get credit for it. Lobster, you know, a bowl of beans, and a cup of chowder.
And a cup of chowder, yep.
Red Sox head here 4-3 in the top of the 6th inning. The strikeout of Sandy Leon was the first time the Red Sox have struck out all day. So as TC mentioned, the Yankees have won in extra innings, so the Red Sox will have to win today to remain 2 games up heading back home. Mookie Betts on deck. Two down, nobody aboard. Wouldn't chase it. Oh, we'd love to see out at Fenway tomorrow night, 7:10. Eduardo Rodriguez against the left-hander Mike Minor for Texas. Eduardo in search of win number 11. Coming off a really strong outing against the Nationals. Here's the 3-2. And he draws ball 4. So the Red Sox have taken 4 of those today after accepting 13 last night. Mookie Betts has 1 of them. Also a base hit. Each time Mookie's been on base, he has scored. He's number 2 in the American League in runs scored. At .344 average is number 1 in baseball. In there for strike 1.
It's possible Bradley could run in this situation. You have a guy that you can get a pretty good jump on. You got Betts at the plate. If you're thrown out at second base, you got Betts leading off the 7th. If not, you're in scoring position for him. So it's a possibility.
Red Sox up by 1. That's what they have in mind too. So many numbers around this ball club, and it makes sense when the Red Sox are 61 and 29, but so many numbers that just kind of blow your mind. Red Sox are 22 and 6 in the last game of a series. 22 and 6. 17 and 4 on getaway days. They really have enjoyed day baseball. Two down for Mookie Betts. Benintendi would hit next. Red Sox without J.D. Martinez as a starter today, although Alex Cora says that J.D. would be available if they need him today. Getting the afternoon off, really earned that. Last night he had 2 hits and another RBI, adding to his major league lead. As Alex said, when we talked to him in the 3rd inning, he fouled off pitches about 7 different parts of his body last night.
It was unbelievable watching that last night. That sinker that just kept running in on him. He kept foul tipping it off his feet, his legs, his ankle.
And yet, as always, admirable concentration, because despite what had to be some painful legs and heels, he still wound up going 2 for 5. 2 down to 2-2. And a swing and a miss for his strike 3. That will retire the side. A walk and 1 man left. Red Sox up by 1 in the 6th inning.
Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. The president, Bob Kendrickin, does an incredible job of bringing the museum to life and telling the stories of players who really changed the game. Alex Cora went on the tour, and although he's been several times, he said he learned something new every visit. It was a little bit more meaningful this year. Assistant hitting coach Andy Barquette also came along, and it was his first time, and he said he learned so much about players he never heard about. And he actually went back and was doing research and trying to find video on them. And OB, Jerry, one of the things that really stood out to me was the new exhibit that they have on the women of the Negro Leagues and how they played with the men and were very involved in the operations. Very saddened to hear about the recent vandalism to the Buck O'Neill Education Center, but hopefully some of our viewers can help out or at least stop by when they're in town.
All right, great idea. Thank you very much, Garen. A swing and a foul ball here by Gordon, who's gone 1 for 2 with a base hit. Red Sox in front here, 4-3 in the 6th inning. It'll be followed by Dozier and Almonte for KC. Xander Bogaerts will grab that one on the other side and toss on to get him, and Gordon's a fast out. Happy wedding anniversary to a couple of lifelong Red Sox fans. George and Joan LaPrade from Tolland, Connecticut, married 62 years. 62.
62 years.
I think it's got a shot.
They may stay together.
Dozier will get in. He has struck out and grounded out. We just got 32 years, my lovely bride and I, Deborah. But 62, you've reached Cooperstown.
I got 43 in.
43?
Yeah, 43.
You're on your way to Cooperstown. Very impressive this day and age, isn't it? Here comes the 2-0. 62 any day and age. Now Porcello looking for that quick inning. He got one of those in the 2nd inning. 2 strikeouts and a ground to second, and then he got him 1-2-3. Last inning, he allowed a leadoff double to Merrifield, but then shut him down after that. As Hembree gets ready in the bullpen.
Yeah, it looks like his stuff's a little bit better right now than it was earlier in the ball game. A little bit more movement on his pitches.
Two softly hit. Porcello jumping off and gets him. Nice play. 2 down.
Now Porcello very good at his position. A very good athlete. Falling off to the first base side, has to regroup, go back to the third base side to get the ball, and then make that sidearm throw to first base to get the out. Probably threw a sinker over there.
Two men away for Almonte. He has grounded out and struck out today. Red Sox leading 4-3 in the 6th. Almonte, a very good defensive outfielder, has not made an error in center field in 4 years. And occasionally today, the sun has been a factor. No one's made an error or dropped a fly ball, but once in a while it has been a battle. Rick Porcello's pitching line. Brought to you by Ace Ticket. 5 2/3, 7 hits. Hasn't walked anybody. He's had 5 games this season where he did not walk anyone. Nobody on, 2 out, the 2-1 home. And he's gone to 3-1. On to see the on-deck hitter. And the 3-1. And he does walk a man. So Almonte on with a 2-out free pass here in the 6th inning.
Want a head start on your Boston sports news? Just subscribe to NESN.com's daily email newsletter, The Lead, and start your morning with the latest headlines in New England sports. Go to NESN.com/newsletter to subscribe today.
I think few things bother Rick Porcello more than what he just did. As he walks a man, Mondesi has struck out and singled. Pitch number 93, well off the plate. Got the first 2 outs pretty quickly. But then a walk and a long look in here to Sandy Leon. He finally picks one out. Runner goes and it's fouled back at a big swing.
Almonte's taken off at first base. 2 steals, caught twice this season.
Butera on deck with 2 away. And a 1-1. And time is granted and pretty darn late there by the home plate umpire Jim Wolf. So no pitch. Now Monte bouncing off first base. Not a very big lead though. And he's holding. And it's driven foul out of play.
Well, back in the 4th inning, how the Royals were able to get a run. This ball gets by. You can see Gordon slipping, going back to second base. A nice play by Bogarts, kept him at third base, but then the base hit right here by Mondesi brings him in. So that gave him a run back in the 4th inning, their 3rd run of the game.
They took a 3-2 lead at that point. Red Sox then surged ahead. A wave and a miss. Mondesi down, hacking on a 91-mile-an-hour 4-seam fastball, and that will do it. 4-3 Boston. Presented by T-Mobile. Chris Sale's last 6 starts, 4-1, an ERA 1.10, 66 strikeouts. Sale, a member of the Strikeouts for Bets campaign, supporting helmets to hard hats. That's an all-star first half. We'll find out later today which members of the Red Sox indeed were selected for the All-Star game. A lot of talk about Chris Sale maybe being the starter again for the American League. Benintendi, perfect day going, 3 for 3. So he's had a couple of great days here in Kansas City. Red Sox ahead 4-3, and there's another one over the leaping Mondesi. That's into the alley. He takes off for second base. Here's the throw. He dives in. He's got a double. That is 10 consecutive plate appearances he's reached.
Boy, have a series here in Kansas City, Andrew. My goodness. And this is, it's no accident when he's swinging the bat well, he's also using left field. That line shot right up over the head of Mondesi at shortstop, and he just hustles it into a 2-base hit. He's really a good base runner. He'll run into some outs once in a while. He's aggressive. But overall, I think a very good base runner.
Well, and you look at his stolen base rate, 94%.
Yeah.
So Pierce looking to pick him up. Steve already with an RBI and a sacrifice in the 3rd inning. He's also walked and singled. Red Sox looking for some wiggle room here in the 7th inning. To back up Rick Porcello. 2-0. Red Sox have won 5 in a row. And a 2-0 from Sparkman. Boston 33-17 on the road. Nobody in baseball has that many road victories. Benintendi at second with none out. Hard hit, base hit into left. Benintendi will advance to third and put on the brakes there. And another hit for Pierce.
He's had a nice day. A walk, a sacrifice fly, and 2 base hits. You plug him in when J.D. Martinez needs a day off, and he's had a great day. And the slider right there that just rolled the home plate, and some good solid contact. Good job staying back right there by Pierce on the breaking ball.
Boy, it's a pickup that looks better and better every day.
Sure does.
Smart acquisition for the Red Sox. That'll bring up Moreland now. Mitch has hit into a double play, grounded out, and walked with the bases loaded to get his 42nd RBI. Looking to add to his excellent first half. First and third, nobody out. Red Sox pressing again. Red Sox once again have reached double figures in hits. They have 10 to Kansas City 7. Comes the 1-0 to the Red Sox first baseman. One ball and 1 strike to Moreland. Is Benintendi at third, Pierce at first. And that is a line drive base hit into center field. Here comes Benintendi romping in with another run. Second RBI of the day for Mitch Moreland. The Red Sox ahead 5-3.
Well, Mullen got an RBI on a walk last time in the 5th inning, and this time with a base hit up the middle. Red Sox have a chance to have a very big inning here. Nobody throwing in the bullpen for the Kansas City Royals. Line shot up the middle here by Mitch.
Well, you cannot underestimate his contributions to the Red Sox in the first half.
Absolutely not.
2 RBIs today and counting, first and second for Xander Bogaerts. Red Sox trying to hang a crooked number here. Xander already has an RBI, his 53rd. And another member of the Red Sox lineup who's had a lot of big hits here in 2018. A lot of very important hits. There are times in a season where it's not necessarily JD Martinez or Mookie Betts firing on all cylinders, and early on it was Xander Bogaerts who was carrying so much of the water for the Red Sox in those cold days in April, and he was just tearing the cover off the ball. And obviously JD warmed up and got scalding hot, hasn't cooled off, having the great year that he's having, and Mookie Betts a spectacular first half as well. Bogaerts had many important hits early when the Red Sox were going 17-2. Looking for another one here with Pierce at second, Moreland on at first, and a 2-1. High fly down the right field line, but slicing out of play. Red Sox looking for more on top, 5-3. Rafael Devers waiting on deck. And a 2-2. Popped him up, foul again, off into the stands. The last 15 games, as Romero gets ready in their bullpen, last 15 games, Sox are averaging 7.2 runs a game, and they're hitting .314 while hitting 23 home runs. So really the offense has hit another level over that span of games. 15 runs last night. Got jammed big time, and he fought it off. Crowding him with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Red Sox trying to build a cushion here. So this will be the 7th pitch of the at bat for Xander. Pierce at second, Moreland at first. Hard hit, that's fair, inside third down the line. Pierce is easily in. Moreland to third. He'll pull up there. It's a run scoring double for Xander Bogaerts. Keeps driving him in. Red Sox ahead 6-3.
Now, you were talking about it, how clutch he was early in the season, and he's become that again for the Red Sox. Picked up an RBI in his last at bat with a sacrifice fly. Now a double right down the third base line. Breaking ball, curveball that he tops down the third base line. The effort by Dozier down there, he can't knock it down. That means a run for the Red Sox. And that means that's it for Spockman.
And that's 10 RBIs on this road trip for Xander Bogaerts. 10 of them. Ed Yost taking the baseball away. And the Red Sox churning for more, on top 6-3 in the 7th. Devers will be the next man in against their bullpen. Been a big day for several Red Sox already. Big series for Andrew Benintendi, I should say so. Our high-strength steel play brought to you by New England Chevy dealers and a Chevy Silverado.
Well, 4 hits in the game today, and of course the first one he drops in a center field for the base hit. Then he gets a nice little line drive over to right field, a little bloop down the left field line that nobody could get to. And of course his last time up, the line shot over towards left center field, and stretches it into 2 bases. So he got everything going here in this inning. In the 7th, the Red Sox still have nobody out and have run that score down to 6-3.
I understand there are a lot of Arkansas supporters who watched him star in college who have come here to watch him play in this series, rooting him on. And he has really gotten hot. Manny Romero has made many stops already in 2018. This is his 3rd. Pitching in his 5th game now with Kansas City. He takes over for Sparkman, who leaves behind a couple of base runners, and the Red Sox leading 6-3. And the Sox already up to 12 hits. How about the top of the order, particularly these last 2 games for the Red Sox? Mookie Betts has been on base twice. He has scored twice. Benintendi 4 times. Collectively last night they were on base 10 times.
And look at Pierce today, 4 times. You know, well, once the sacrifice fly, but he also walked and had 2 base hits. When you get that kind of production out of the top of the lineup, you know you're going to score some runs.
Rafael Devers looking for his 2nd hit today as runners at 2nd and 3rd with nobody out. As the Sox look to make this very comfortable. Rafael to base in 2nd inning. He's gone 1 for 3. Sox stringing together 4 consecutive hits here in the 7th inning. That'll miss for ball 2. Last night Rafael was 1 for 4 with an RBI. Drew a couple of walks as well. And he'll foul that one right over our heads. He's already had a huge hit on the trip, which came early in New York. First stop of the road swing as he went 5 for 5 with a grand slam against the Yankees. Two and 2. 6 runs, 12 hits for Boston, 3 runs, 7 hits, an error for Kansas City. Nunez on deck. And he struck him out on a foul tip held by Butera, so that'll be the first out in the inning.
Goes to the breaking ball, big sweeping breaking ball that time to get Devers for the strikeout. See too many of those prior to that pitch. It was mostly fastballs, and when he sees it, no contact. Infield still pulled in, obviously, with 1 out.
Nunez 1 for 3, an RBI single in the 5th. Two men in scoring position. Attacking right away, as he so often does. Got a curveball. The last 6 games that Nunez has played against Kansas City, he's hit 3 home runs. One ball, 1 strike. Red Sox knocked their starter, the right-hander Philmeyer, out of the ball game in the 5th inning. Rick Porcello still on for Boston. Here comes the 1-1. Fouled back. Red Sox have activity in the bullpen. Ryan Brazier just called up from the minor leagues today. Brian Johnson has gone on the disabled list with a hip issue. If you missed it, Christian Vasquez also on the disabled list after fracturing a finger. The pinky finger on his right hand, sliding into second base head first last night. So Blake Swihart will catch tomorrow when the Red Sox head back home to take on Texas at Fenway. The man on deck, Sandy Leon, will have the lion's share. 2-2. Cuevas also now back with the ballpark, with the ball club, recalled from the Paw Sox. And Brian Johnson with inflammation in that left hip. Here's the 2-2. Popped him up foul, back off into the stands. So Nunez in a battle here with Romero. A long sit here for Rick Porcello, but he's got to be enjoying the offense. Red Sox have scored twice to take a 6-3 lead. And a lefty with a 2-2. Hard hit, a single into left field. Moreland is in to score. Bogart's into third base. Red Sox add on the RBI single by Nunez, who had a really fine at bat, his second RBI, and that makes it 7-3.
Yeah, Nunez has had a nice day. 2 hits in the ball game, 2 RBIs, 1 in the 4th inning, 1 now here in the 7th inning. Long at bat for Nunez as he tops one between third and short for the base hit. It seems like the Red Sox have been doing most of their damage late in games in this series against the Kansas City Royals.
Yep. Scored a ton of runs after the 5th inning last night. Now Sandy Leon looking for that first hit today. He's gone 0 for 3. 13 hits and counting for Boston. So another fine offensive day for the Red Sox. Today, even without JD Martinez. Up the middle, Merrifield with it, flips to second for 1, and they will turn to double play. 4 of those today, but the Red Sox keep adding on. And here in the middle of the 7th inning, they have taken a 7-3 lead on the Kansas City Royals. We're going to stay for God Bless America here on the beautiful day at Kauffman Stadium.
Work to defend it. Please join us in singing God Bless America, being performed by Royals fans Got Talent participant Katie Buzzard.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
Top player for the 7th
classic flavors you love, lemonade and strawberry. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary. It's a limited time offer. We've had the 7th inning stretch. Rick Porcello back out there. He'll take a 9-1-2. Closing in on the 100 pitch mark. Now 96. 7 runs, 13 hits for the Red Sox. 3 runs, 7 hits for Kansas City. As the Red Sox eye another sweep. Butera 1 for 2 with a single. At times it's been a grind today for Rick Porcello, but we've seen him for years, even when he doesn't have his A-list stuff, able to make it deep into games, limit damage. He's done that again today.
Yeah, it was there was a stretch there back in about the 3rd inning where he had some difficulties, gave up a couple of runs, but it seems like he has settled down much better after the 3rd and 4th inning.
Loop to center, racing out Nunez. Bradley coming on, and it'll fall in for a base hit. So the leadoff man is on here in the 7th, and let's toss it down to Guerin.
Obi Jerry, it's an exciting day. The 2018 All-Star teams will be announced later, and Mookie Betts and JD Martinez have led in the categories for outfielders and DH throughout the entire voting process. This is such an honor for the player and an exciting opportunity for their families. This year's All-Star game will be in Washington, D.C. at Nationals Park, and we will be there for everything. The Futures game managed by David Ortiz and Torrey Hunter, as well as the Home Run Derby and the All-Star game. We will have one-on-ones and exclusive content, and you can hear from your Red Sox All-Stars tonight on NESN Sports Today.
Merrifield hammers that one down the line. He has a 4-hit game. That's going to put runners at 2nd and 3rd. So the first 2 men reach against Porcello here in the 7th inning. You saw Hembree throwing in the bullpen.
I'll tell you, every time you see Merrifield, you're just impressed with him. You really are. 2-seam fastball that comes back down about knee high, and he's able to rifle that right down the 3rd base line. Picks up a double, his 2nd double of the day. He's 4 for 4, and out comes Alex Cora.
With Bonifacio coming up next. And the bullpen gate is open. And he's going to stick with him. And they're going to push Hembree back in. He had already left through that open gate and was about to head in. And now he is ushered back.
That's one of those conversations where you go out, you know, Hembree thinks for sure he's coming in with the 2 men on, and it's, how do you feel? Do you feel like you can get through this? Porcello obviously says yes, and Cora takes the yes for the answer.
So we'll see how this plays out. Bonifacio ripped a 2-run double back in the 3rd inning. 4-run cushion here for Porcello, but nobody out. Bonifacio 1 for 3's flied out the other 2 times. Whit Merrifield with 4 hits, 2 doubles, 2 singles. Andrew Benintendi today has also gone 4 for 4 for the Red Sox. Not many easy innings for the right-hander today. Punch foul, 1-1. So far 9 hits against Rick Porcello. He has struck out 7. And a 1-1 home. He's got a piece of it. You know this, they're going to swing the bats. They're not standing around waiting for ball 4. Only one of those today.
No, ball 4 is not going to get him back in the game. They don't feel like that's going to happen in any game.
Oh, against any pitcher. Butera at 3rd, Merrifield at 2nd. Right past him, 93 miles an hour to strike him out. Bonifacio is angry at Bonifacio.
Now that's what managers want to see. You know, when you go out there and you talk to a pitcher, you want him to be totally honest with you. You know, are you cooked? Or do you have anything left? And Porcello said, yeah, I got plenty left. And so what does he do? He strikes him out in a high fastball.
Every time a Red Sox pitcher strikes out a Royal, Lexus will donate $50 to the Greater Boston Food Bank. Now Moustakas, who's gone 0 for 3 with a pair of flyouts and a pop-up. Foul tip to the mitt for strike 1. Moustakas now 8 out of 33 lifetime against Rick Porcello. The 0-1. Now 0-2. $107 pitches for the former Cy Young Award winner. Good power here. 17 home runs from Moustakas. The 0-2. He went chasing and down he goes. Back-to-back Ks by Rick Porcello with 2 men in scoring position.
You know, it seems like everything he's thrown since Cora left the mound have been fastballs. And this time he gets ahead of Moustakas, throws him that fastball that's way up in the attic. Can't catch up to it. Back-to-back strikeouts with men at second and third.
Well, now trying to do the same thing to Lucas Duda. He's already struck him out 2 times today. 2 down. Rick Porcello has struck out 9 Royals today. That ties the season high for him. He's done it 4 times. Liking that fastball here all of a sudden, and knowing it's his last inning. 110 pitches. Here's the 1-1 to Duda. And a high pop-up. Coming on Jackie Bradley and underneath. And he's got it. And Rick Porcello works out of the jam beautifully. He strands 2 men in scoring position. Outstanding effort by the right-hander there.
Catch a special encore presentation today after Red Sox post-game coverage. Don't miss Matt Barnes and Joe Kelly like you've never seen them before as they square off in a no-laughing battle.
Don't miss Nesson Clubhouse today after Red Sox final presented by Dental. No, let me get this right. Presented by Delta Dental of Massachusetts.
And they were telling bad jokes there. Rick Porcello, 111 pitches done for the day. But that was a pretty special effort there after Alex Cora came out. He left him in the ball game. Porcello was then overpowering with the next 3 batters.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's one of those games where I thought Porcello got better and better and better as the game went on. And that was really something. After the manager comes out and he's not sure, you know, am I going to take him out? Am I not? I'm going to see how he feels about this thing. Boy, did he feel pretty good about it.
They sure did. So they go back to the bullpen. Jason Adam coming on for his 18th appearance of the year. Jackie Bradley first man in as we go to the 8th inning. Red Sox head 7-3. Big time hold by Rick Porcello. Jackie's gone 0 for 2 with a walk. Mookie Betts on deck, and then Benintendi, who has a 4 for 4 game going. "13 hits for the Sox." And in there for a called strike. Red Sox looking to head home on the strength of a 6-game winning streak. They ripped off 5 in a row. Alex Cora was talking before the game about, you know, the difference between a very good trip and a great trip. And 7-2, he said that'd be a great trip. No question about it. Would be back-to-back sweeps on the road, which are so rare. The Red Sox are anything but ordinary in 2018. They can come out of here with a record of 62-29. And a 3-2 from the righty. Up the middle for a base hit. So Jackie Bradley in the hit column. Hard hit single. Premium Flex plans are on sale right now. Those plans include matchups with the Yankees and summer weekend games and some of the best seat locations at Fenway. For more information, go to redsox.com/premiumflex. Sox now at 14 hits. Mookie Betts has one of those, and he's also scored 2 times. 1 for 3. Benintendi on deck. Matt Barnes now loosening up here in Kansas City. After Rick Porcello pitched out of a jam without allowing a run in the 7th inning. And the 0-1 to Mookie Betts. A breaking ball low. Now the Red Sox are doing the best they can to make sure that JD Martinez has the day off, which would be a great thing after all those foul balls off his legs and feet last night. Major League's home run and RBI leader. He is available if needed. Got to believe he must make plans for Washington, D.C. in the All-Star game. Same with Mookie Betts, but we'll find out which other Red Sox are selected to that team later on this evening. And a timeout granted to Mookie Betts. Last voting, Betts and Martinez were leading at their positions. Last voting released earlier this week. Nobody out. Bradley on, not running. If he is selected, it'll be the third consecutive All-Star game for Marcus Lynn Betts. Popped him up. Right side of the diamond, Merrifield. One away. Now the Red Sox are at the top of the American League East, and you're not going to want to miss a game. You can import the NESN Red Sox schedule on any device for alerts 15 minutes before the game with matchup info and more. Visit NESN.com/schedule to import that. Presented by Franklin Sports, the official batting glove of the Red Sox in Major League Baseball. And now Benintendi for the 5th time. He has gone 4 for 4 with a double, 3 singles. He has scored twice. He is on a tear. If he gets on here, it will be for the 11th consecutive plate appearance. On base 6 times last night with the 4 walks, the double, and the home run. That one driven foul out of play.
4 hits in the ball game today for Benintendi. The first time up, gets that base hit as he takes it right into center field. A little bit toward the end of the bat that time. Then he pulls one in the right field for the base hit. A little bloop in the twilight zone. Able to pick up the base hit there, and then a line shot up past shortstop.
1-2. Sox got a run in the 3rd, a run in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, and 3 in the 7th. With a 1-2. Runner goes. It's low. The throw down. Not a good one. And it's a stolen base. Jackie Bradley into second.
Now the Red Sox have 3 guys in a row that are capable of doing that. You know, Bradley with now 10 for 10 on the season. Betts, of course, with 16. Benintendi with 16. Not a great jump right there, but not a good throw at all.
The Sox want some more. 4-run lead. Here comes the 2-2. And Benintendi with a swing and a miss, strike 3. And finally that run of plate appearances comes to an end. But 4 for 5 on the day.
Comes to an end on a very, very slow curveball that time from Adam. Looks like he took a little something off the curveball that time and had Benintendi out on his front foot.
So that'll bring up Steve Pearce. Another good day for Steve with 2 hits. With a pair of singles, a walk, and RBI as well. And it's a chance for another with 2 down. Moreland would be hitting next if given the opportunity. 2 away. Minnesota in the 9th inning is ripping into the Orioles 10-0. Orioles have lost 5 in a row. They're 24-64. They are the only club with fewer victories than this Kansas City team. Right now, Baltimore 36 games out of first place. Just been a disastrous year there for a proud franchise. Here's the 3-0 to Pierce. And the pitcher steps off. Adam off the rubber. .30 pitch, taking all the way, and that's ball 4. So he's been on base 4 times today.
4 times plus a sacrifice fly.
And Mitch Moreland will be next. He had an RBI single last time. He's driven in a pair today. Orioles will play the Yankees in a doubleheader tomorrow. It'll be in Baltimore. Red Sox have played 4 more games than New York. Yankees did win today in 10 innings. They beat Toronto 2-1. So Red Sox need to win to maintain a 2-game lead. Two down, but 2 on for the Red Sox, leading 7-3 here in the top of the 8th. And a breaking ball misses for ball 1. $14 hit days so far for the Sox. They lead at first and second. Here's the 1-0. Little dribbler to the first baseman, Moustakas. He'll take it himself and gets to the bag in plenty of time to retire the side. Red Sox leading 7-3 going to the last half of the 8th inning.
Sync Sox games with your desktop or mobile.
Leading it late here, 7-3. This quality start brought to you by BioFreeze.
Well, Rick Porcello gives up a double, so there's second and third, nobody out. It looked like Cora was thinking about taking him out. Porcello apparently talked him out of that. Henry was on his way in, has to go back, and Porcello takes care of business. A couple of strikeouts on high fastballs, and the final out, a fly ball on a changeup to center field. So Porcello really buckled down there after the meeting with Cora and was fired up after that.
BioFreeze pain relief that works. Bottom of the 8th inning. A lazy swing and a miss there by Gordon from Matt Barnes, now on the bump. And taking over for Porcello, a 2.39 ERA for the hard-throwing right-hander. It's Gordon, Dozier, Almonte here in the 8th. So Rick Porcello in line for his 11th win of the year. Eduardo Rodriguez goes tomorrow. He'll be bidding for his 11th. Chris Sale has 9. Overshift on the right for Gordon. He rolls that one foul. Talking about folks who've been fortunate to be married for 60 years or longer. Great Red Sox fans. Eddie and Marie Ruca married 61 years. They have raised a very large and wonderful family, and their extended family loves them dearly too. That is some achievement. And a 1-2 bounces right by everyone. Peralta, the right-hander, loosens in the bullpen now for KC. They have lost 8 in a row, 27 out of their last 32. Chopped on the infield. Bogaerts has spent a lot of time on that side of second base in the series, and he's there to make the play. Tuesday's Red Sox giveaway night at Fenway. The first 10,000 fans in attendance receive a special pair of Red Sox socks presented by Hood. For tickets and more information, visit redsox.com/promos. One out for Hunter Dozier, who's gone 0 for 3. Red Sox ahead by 4. And getting ready to head back home, and could be doing that with a full head of steam. Back at Fenway on Monday night against Texas. Sox have not announced a starter for Tuesday yet, but on Wednesday it will be Chris Sale, 9-4 with a 2.36 ERA. Against Bartolo Colon. Talk about a fascinating duel.
Yeah, that should be very, very interesting. Chris Sale throwing about 98, 99, 100 miles an hour with his fastball, and Colon, well, I don't know, what, 86, 85 maybe?
But used to throw 100.
Used to love it.
A ricochet right off Sandy Leon.
Bartolo Colon used to throw a fastball, and then he'd look up at the scoreboard to see what the velocity on the pitch was. I'll tip right off the mask, shaking the rattling the teeth of Sandy Leon.
He's got like 250 wins now, Bartolo Colon. Get into that category, and they at least begin to talk about you as a possible Hall of Famer. 1-2. Skipped up there again. Boy, Sandy's taking a beating in this at bat.
Yeah, this is, he's trying to stop these curveballs. Of course, the last one was a foul ball off the mask, but now he's trying to stop the breaking balls from going by.
And Bartolo Colon, 245 career wins. Red Sox saw him earlier this season and handled him. Right now he's 5-6 ERA, but north of 4.6. And a cut and a miss late swing there and a breaking ball, and down he goes, 2 away.
Bartolo Colon was with the Red Sox at one point, right? And he took off early. He took it to the casa.
He took it to the
There was
casa.
like no more Bartolo Colon.
He just left.
Yeah, I thought that was the end of his career.
2008, yeah.
He's still pitching.
Thought his career ended right there. He took that swing. I think it was in Philadelphia. Took a swing that, he injured his back. I thought he was done then.
Yeah.
On and on he goes. It's quite a story. Again, taking on Chris Sale on Wednesday night.
And there's that splitter right there. You see, he takes that split grip. We don't see him throw it very often, but that time he did. throw it on the very first pitch to pick up a strike. There's the splitter. We don't see it very often. He starts off taking that grip every time, but basically he's fastball curveball. But he does get a splitter over for a strike.
A hit on El Monte, 0-2.
There's the grip, and then he'll make the adjustment in the glove.
Almonte, switch hitter. Grounded to second, struck out. He's also taken a walk, the only walk issued in the game by the Red Sox.
This might be another one. It is.
Oh, my. He struck him out. Back-to-back Ks from Matt Barnes. He zips through the inning, 1-2-3. Every home run hit by the Red Sox and through the end of August. You can use your Speedy Rewards card when you purchase 3 cooler beverages and receive 1,000 bonus points. Well, a road trip that has gone exceedingly well for the Boston Red Sox, on top 7-3 as we bring in the 9th inning. Jerry Remy, Dave O'Brien with you. Willie Peralta out of the bullpen, the right-hander, the pitcher in the 9th inning with the Sox in front 7-3. And about to take on Xander Bogaerts here in a moment. Bogaerts, Devers, and Nunez. Red Sox closing in on going 7-2 on the road trip and winning their 6th in a row, but some work to be done yet. Rick Porcello can win it. Rick would improve to 11-3. He went 7 innings today. A lot of good days in this lineup throughout the trip and here today. Xander Bogaerts near the top of the list with a single, a double, 2 RBIs. He has scored a run as well.
Tyler Thornburg loosening in the Red Sox bullpen. He comes in. It'll be the 2nd time we've seen him in this series.
2nd time since the trade. Coming back from shoulder surgery. He admitted to some nerves on Friday night. Finally making his Red Sox debut as that's hammered foul. Nice to see him back at the big league level. Red Sox have out hit the Royals on the day 14-9. No Sox home runs yet. It's unusual to see the Red Sox with this many hits, but nothing over the fence this late in the game. Red Sox leading the majors in runs, hits, and in doubles. And that's going to be ball 4. and is second in the majors with 128 home runs. Our game summary is brought to you by Xfinity. Rick Porcello, 7 innings. He struck out 9. Benintendi's had himself another day, 4 for 5. Merrifield 4 for 4 and a couple of doubles for the Kansas City Royals. How much longer is he going to be a Royal as he continues a really fine season? Leadoff walk to Xander Bogaerts will bring up Rafael Devers, 1 for 4 with a single. And zipped in there, 96 for strike 1. Rafael with 1 home run on the trip, but it was memorable. The grand slam at Yankee Stadium. He's the youngest player to go 5 for 5 with a grand slam since at least 1908. Xander Bogaerts aboard at first, nobody out. The pitcher, Willie Peralta, might be the slowest guy we've seen work all year.
He's in no hurry. Absolutely no hurry.
I mean, I think you're looking at something like 40 seconds since he last got the ball. 97, still throws hard.
It's like an effort to get back up on the mound, you know.
Taking a peek at Xander Bogaerts, and now the 3-1. And that's going to be off the plate for ball 4. So he has walked back-to-back men, first and second, nobody out. And Nunez with a chance to do some damage.
Now Nunez has had a nice afternoon going to the opposite field to drive in a run. This coming back in the 4th inning. Then in the 7th, he drives in another run with a base hit between 3rd and short. Nunez having a nice afternoon, 2 for 4, as he heads into this final plate appearance, or maybe final plate appearance.
Two on and none out, and way too high for ball 1. Another game, and the Red Sox have scored 5 runs or more, and they've done that now 53 times. That is more than any other team in the majors. Bogaerts with a walk, Devers with a walk. '84 in there with a breaking ball. Sandy Leon to hit next. Red Sox with another sweep. If they can win today, here's the 1-1. And there is a base hit taken away by Mondesi. The second one out of first, and got him with the double play. Down to third as Bogaerts. A brilliant diving stab there by Mondesi. Red Sox have hit into a lot of double plays today despite the 7-3 advantage.
Yeah, if they were behind in this game, you would be looking at all the double plays they've hit into. This is an outstanding play right here by the shortstop Mondesi. Diving and then flipping to second base to be able to get the double play. Still have time. Wow. Pretty nice play.
He's made a couple in this series. Down to third, Xander Bogaerts, now a 2 down. Sandy Leon has gone 0 for 4. And Sandy will look at a fastball in there for a strike.
Still some velocity there, 97 with that fastball.
Sox have hit into 4 double plays today, which is a season high. And a little blooper foul back out of play. Typically, when you get to the 9th inning and you've been doubled up 4 times, you're the team losing 7-3.
Absolutely, we'd be talking about that, in the post-game thing. Blew a lot of opportunities today. Well, they've also made a lot of opportunities for themselves too.
On the strength of 14 hits, 4 of those by Benintendi. One-two cut on and missed for strike 3. Sandy Leon retired, and that will do it. Enter the code All-Star DC to unlock the exclusive All-Star gear at MLB.com/HRD game. Sox hit 7-3 here, despite leaving 10 men on base. Red Sox have actually been doubled up 5 times today. Thornburg coming out of the bullpen. This will be his 2nd appearance in the series, 2nd appearance with the Red Sox. Made his Red Sox debut on Friday as he tossed the 7th inning. His first appearance in a major league game since October 2nd of 2016. So bottom of the 9th inning, Red Sox are hit by 4. It'll be Mondesi, Butera, and Merrifield. And, it had to feel great to get on the mound. He did say he was nervous. Didn't expect to be quite so nervous coming back. But stands to reason after that kind of an absence because of the shoulder surgery. Mondesi 1 for 3 with a base hit. So bottom of the 9th inning, Red Sox trying to put this one to bed and end the road trip 7-2. And the 0-2 on the way. Off the outside at 93. Tomorrow night, Eduardo Rodriguez against Mike Minor, the Texas Rangers at Fenway at 7:10. That one's scalded to right field. Mookie Betts driven back. It's over his head. That slams into the wall. Mondesi for second base, and there with a double.
Mondesi has had a strange day, 2 strikeouts, but also to go along with that, a base hit with an RBI. Now the double. He had to lead off the 9th inning. Takes Mookie Betts all the way back to the fence. in front of the bullpen for the Kansas City Royals.
Well, you can see a bright future for him. A nice collection of skills with this kid. They do have 10 hits on the day. And here's Butera. He has a pair of them with 2 singles. And a high fly ball in the left center field. Benintendi and Bradley there, and Benintendi with the catch. The runner will stay put at second. So 1 away in the 9th. Whit Merrifield will be next, and he's looking for a 5-hit game. He singled in the 1st inning, singled in the 3rd inning, doubled in the 5th and the 7th. So now batting over 300, 301. And a right-hander will punch that one in there. 86 miles an hour changeup for a called strike.
Yeah, starts him off with a fastball, comes back with a changeup down in the zone and picks up the strike. Evens the count at 1-1. Fastball, changeup, curveball kind of guy.
Red Sox do have Craig Kimbrell up in the bullpen. Want to make sure this does not get away as the Sox go for the sweep. They swept the Nationals before coming here. Will get by and advance the runner all the way to the backstop and move Mondesi to 3rd on a wild pitch.
Tries the curveball again, but that time way outside.
Kimbrell has not appeared in a game since last Wednesday. And the Red Sox were in D.C. Bonifacio on deck. Now plenty of hits today, a total of 24, 14 for Boston. Royals with a man at 3rd and 1 away. Bottom of the 9th inning. Slicer foul off to the right.
Probably the smallest crowd of the series here this afternoon, I would think.
You're right. On what was a really nice day.
Beautiful day. Good crowds, very good crowds the first 2 games.
And a 3-2. Toward the hole and through for a base hit. That'll bring in Mondesi. And Merrifield continues to hit the cover off the ball. He's 5 for 5. And here comes Cora. So that makes it a 7-4 ball game. A call has been made to Kimbrell. Thornburg allowing a double, a wild pitch, and an RBI single, and he is done for the afternoon. We'll take a break here. 9th inning. 1 down, a man on. The closer in. 7-4 Boston. We'll donate $1,000 to the Jimmy Fund for every game saved. Everybody saves at Bob's, the only choice for untouchable furniture value. Available in store or at mybobs.com. First 5-hit game of the career of Whit Merrifield. He's had a big series with 9 hits in the 3 games. Greg Kimbrell coming on, trying to close this one out. 37th appearance, 2.02 the ERA, and has not appeared in a game for the Red Sox since the Washington series. He'll get Bonifacio's gone 1 for 4 with a 2-run double. Last time up was a big strikeout at the hand of Rick Porcello, who whiffed him with runners at 2nd and 3rd in the 7th inning. 97 to get started.
Yep, challenge time right out of the chute. 97 against a guy that likes to swing at the first pitch.
Oh, 1 from Kimbrell. He went up a notch to 98, and it's 0-2. And an interesting day. The Red Sox have 14 hits, but they've not hit a home run. They've hit into 5 double plays, but they lead 7-4. Trying to win their 6th in a row and make it back-to-back road sweeps. And the 0-2. Yankees did win. They defeated Toronto in extra innings, so the Sox will have to win to maintain a 2-game lead heading back home to Fenway. Be great to be back home right before the All-Star break, a week of games before the break, with Texas and Toronto beginning tomorrow night. Broken bat pop up, loop toward left, and it'll drop down for a base hit. First and second with 1 away. And Mike Moustakas will be next.
Sounded like a broken bat on a breaking ball that time, right toward the end of the bat, but drops in the left field, and a couple of men on now with 1 out.
Red Sox have quieted this guy this afternoon. He's 0 for 4. But he is their #1 power source with 17 home runs. That'll be strike 1. One of the better recent offensive days for Kansas City with 12 hits. Merrifield at second, Bonifacio at first. And that's a strike. Just on the edge. 0-2. And Moustakas not too happy with it.
Goes back to the curveball that time and picks up the inside corner. Moustakas may have thought that was a little bit high, but not the case.
Two-strike pitch. Down he goes, hacking. 2 down.
They've been doing that a lot to Moustakas in this series. When they get ahead of him, they go upstairs with that fastball. It's the second time they've struck him out on a pitch like that today.
Of course, Kimbrell gets a lot of those kind of strikeouts, doesn't he?
Sure does. Now Porcello got him last time in the 7th, his final inning.
That was a key inning. Some great work by Rick Porcello in that frame. And the Red Sox are 1 out away from another victory. Here's Duda.
Talking about Porcello getting Moustakas back in the 7th inning when he got a couple of strikeouts, goes upstairs. So what does Kimbrell do when he gets a couple of strikes? He does the same thing. And he chases it.
Sox up 7-4 in the bottom of the 9th with 2 down. And a dandy right on the corner at 86. That breaking ball. When Kimbrel has that pitch working this well, you know, it's like watching Chris Sale with the slider and the fastball. One and two.
That's the tough one right there. You know, it starts out over the plate. It ends up out of the strike zone, down around your ankles. You just can't see it to make contact.
Craig Kimbrel's had an all-star first half. Look at these numbers. Due to 1 for 16, 11 strikeouts against him. 2 on, 2 out. The 1-2 from Craig Kimbrel. Red Sox can sweep again with one more strike. Here's the 2-2. Popped him up. Foul territory. Devers ranging over, but it's out of play. That's been some road trip for the Red Sox. Starting out in New York, then on to Washington, and now to Kansas City. Alex Cora said 7-2 would be a great trip. 1 strike away from that. He gets him. That's the ball game. The Red Sox indeed win 6 in a row and finish off Kansas City. Tom Caron, another sweep as the Red Sox come home with a full head of steam.